Okay, let me do a few testing here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting started now. Go over here. Make sure I can see this live. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to get started in just a few moments. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to make sure that we get what we have going here. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me do a couple of this. Okay, and let me open up for those that are joining. Head on over to the private, to the elusive, to the exclusive Facebook group over at virtualnetworkinglive.com. Again, virtualnetworkinglive.com is where all the action is happening. I'm going to post that we are live. Let me just check my feed here. There we go, that we're live. Oh, this is going to be so exciting. This is going to be so much fun. Let me make sure I got everything I need here, and I do. Let me send this to the folks over here. There we go. Okay. There. Cool. Okay. Okay. We are live. Okay. Link. Post. Okay. So got that going on there. Okay, let me make sure that he has the right view. This is the host link. Let me make sure he has the host link. Hold on. Go back. Okay, let me help my man Sekou get on. Here is the link to join as a host. As a host. I think he's on the wrong link. There we go. Okay, make sure I sent that to him, which I did. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome for all those that are here. Welcome to 2K, Revenue Countdown 2K17. For those that are joining for the very first time, my name is Shay Brown with Peak Performance Institute, normally myself and the Trevor Otts. And this evening, this morning, tonight, wherever you are, we're going to talk about a very, very, very important topic this evening. And we have a very special guest, none other than Sekou Andrews. I'm going to double check to make sure I pulled everything up right over here. He just sent me a note, so let me make sure he's able to get on. I'm going to put you on pause for just a moment. So let me get you on pause for just a moment. And let me make sure I can have him on here. Okay, there we are. Okay, there we are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just give me 1 second. I just got a note. Sekou said he's having trouble getting on. So let me just make sure that's not the case. Okay. Do one quick thing here. Okay. Okay, there we go. Got it. Okay, let's see if we get him on. If not, I'm going to text him in just a moment. I know you guys are getting on. You're here. Just give me a second. We're really live right now, by the way, because I can see you. I clicked on link, but it says, okay, I just sent host link again to your email and posting to Facebook. Okay. Let me see why he's having trouble there. Hope he's not on the old one. We're going to have a special guest, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you're here and you're just arriving for the first time, do me a favor while I just post this link to our guest speaker. Let me do that now. Head on over to virtualnetworkinglive.com. Just got off of a small biz chat. I was on small biz chat with none other than the Melinda Emerson. Here is the host link. I'm sending it to him again. There we go. So what do you got there? Let me do this here. Link. There we go. All right. All right. Let me check that over there. Check this over here. Okay. Something that I want to share with you is we're getting started. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm doing two things. One is I'm making sure that our hosts and other folks can get on. But I do want to recognize and bring on our Carmen Morgan, who's joining for the very first time. If this is your very first time and you're joining, I want you to head on over to virtualnetworkinglive.com. Again, virtualnetworkinglive.com. Don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger. Tell us your first name. Tell us your last name. Tell us where you're from. And more importantly, tell us what you do. Hashtag, I'm going to do this, sales courage. Do this right now. Give me 1 second. So I send them the notes. Have you ever done anything by yourself when you're up here? Sometimes you can multitask. And that's a good thing, by the way. It's a good thing. Just give me 1 second. Revenue countdown 2K17. Okay. At Trevor. Okay, I'm doing two things real quick. I'm going to post this to let folks know we are live. If you're here, I'm going to spotlight you this evening. So head over to virtualnetworkinglive.com. When you get over there, enter your first name, enter your last name, tell us where you're from, and more importantly today, tell us what you do. Today, I want to spotlight you. You tell us what you do. I'm going to reach out to an entrepreneur today, to a business owner, and I'm going to ask, what is your number one idea in order for you to make the next 115 days your best 115 days ever? Like, what is your number one idea? In fact, as you're listening right now, I'm going to talk about something very, very important this evening. And I think I'm going to share this evening the number one secret in order to have sustained success in sales. That's going to be the number one idea that I'm going to share this evening, this morning, whatever time it is for where you are. I'm going to take a few of these. Let me post this. I think I heard someone. Hold on, I'm on another screen, so I go back. Okay. We have the hostess with the mostest. I joining on. He's like, I made it on, Shay. I made it on.
I made it on.
Well, what's going on, Sekou? How you doing, man?
Hey, listen, I can teach you how to be an expert on the stage, but getting to the Google Hangout is not really my expertise. You know what I'm saying? That's not how I get down.
First of all, Sekou, you made it on. So that's the good news. We'll bring you on in a minute. One thing I like about him is we're kind of hanging out, right? And he showed up, and we'll get to who he is and what he does. We're going to get to that in a moment. But you're here as well. So one of the things that I like for you to do is you arrive, head on over to virtualnetworkinglive.com. Tell us your first name. Tell us your last name. Tell us what you do. And more importantly, tell us what's your number one idea to make the next 115 days the best 115 days ever. I mean, we're here at Revenue Countdown 2K17. And the whole purpose is not so much to get you ready for January 1st, but to kind of shift the mindset today. And the mindset I want you to have is that today is your January 1st. Go ahead and jot that down in your notes. Today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. If today was your January 1st, think about the mindset that you have. The planning is behind you. You're ready to rock and roll. You're ready to go to an entirely different level. And that means you've already done the preparation. You've already done the planning, and you hit the ground running. And that right now, that is you. That's the mindset that I want you to have as you go out there to make the next 12 months really your best 12 months ever. But it starts with January 1st. And I kind of share something, Sekou, and I'll get to you in a minute, but that September really is the new January.
Hmm.
I mean, think about it. When you hit
Yeah.
September 1st, it marked the point of the year where there's 1/3 of the year left. That's right, 33% of the year is left as of September 1st. So you look back on the last 2/3 and what you've done, what you've accomplished, what your goals were, what you're looking to do, and then you turn around and say, you know what? Today is my January 1st. September is the new January. Just like YouTube is the new television, if you will. Just like lunch is the new breakfast. It's new, and you can accomplish everything that you need to do over the next 115 days. And
Mhm.
it can make the difference for you. And if you're a business owner, you know this already, that one day, in many cases, can make your whole month. Sometimes 1 week can make the whole quarter. And if you put together one quarter, 1 month, and the second month together, 2 months in some instances can really make the entire year. And it sets it up for you. And I want you to know that that's possible for you no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited because it's real. Before I jump into the formal stuff, I'm going to jump over to Sekou and say, hey, Sekou, you're here. What does the term today is your January 1st? What does it mean to you to have a fresh start, to be able to recharge, to be able to know that there's new opportunities, there's new clients, there are new stages for you to perform on, there are new folks that you can reach, you can touch, lives can be changed. What does that concept even mean to you?
Hmm. There's a line in a piece that I have called The Fortune Teller that says, I speak in present tense because these events are in play and I can't see it going no other way. And that line is the refrain that basically says, you know, you always 3 steps ahead in business, in marketing, in parenting, in whatever you're doing. If you're trying to be successful in it and you want to own your future, then you always live you 3 steps ahead. And but even more powerfully than that is living the future as if it is the present, you know, owning the future as if it is the present, saying whatever I'm planning for January 1st, like you said, it doesn't begin January 1st, it begins today. And so I have to begin to reverse engineer that vision, reverse engineer that reality, so that I'm looking and saying, well, whatever it is that I need to be doing January 1st has got to start. I need to do that on December 1st. And then if I'm going to do that on December 1st, then that can't happen until I'm doing this on November 15th. And that won't happen until I'm doing this on October 2nd. And that can't happen until I'm doing this tomorrow. So I guess I better get up and prepare for tomorrow today.
I love that. I love that thought. And yeah, I know you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. We're going to get into all the fancy bios and what you do. And I know you have a very important message. But if we can just hang out just for a second. I haven't seen you in a while, so it's
All
really
right.
great to see you through the power of these fiber optic lines right now, man.
That's right.
Where are you located right now?
I am in La La Land, baby. I'm in LA.
Oh,
I'm
you're
in
in LA. You're back home. Okay, you travel
right.
so much. I know
Yeah.
you're about to take off and go somewhere coming up. Is that correct? You'll be leaving soon?
Headed to India, and then headed to Australia for some speaking engagements, and then come back to the States and bounce around through the fall busy season to, you know, every place on the planet, really.
Wow. Well, I'm here in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. I'm glad to hang out. Tomorrow, I'm not going to India. I'll be on a flight at 6 a.m. to Atlanta, Georgia, by the
Atlanta,
way.
heard that.
Uh,
I love it. I love Atlanta, and I love DC. You know, DC is where I went to high school and middle school, so I love DC. You know, I got a special place in my heart.
all right, now, go D.C.
That's right.
You know, Sekou, can you, for a moment, just share what really keeps you inspired? How are you able to remain consistent? And the reason I ask that question, let me frame the conversation is we have folks that are watching now. These are business owners. They're entrepreneurs just like you, just like I. They're everyday folks. They have so much potential inside them, and they want to perform at a higher level. And before we get into the formal stuff, can you talk about what keeps you motivated? What keeps you inspired?
Um, you know, so when you're in the business of inspiration, you have to find your inspirational sources from all over. You don't have the luxury of just necessarily waking up and saying, you know, I'm just gonna wait arms wide, embrace and receive whatever inspires me today. Like, you don't have the luxury of that, right? So you have to, for example, with poetry, when I was writing poems for me all the time, and it was just me going to open mics or whatever, then, I write whatever I felt. If I was, in love, I write the in love poem, and if I'm mad at my girlfriend, I write the mad at my girlfriend poem, whatever it is, Nowadays, I got to get out the diabetes poetic piece by this. And so I have to crowbar the inspiration out in all of me in all sorts of ways. So I'm constantly reaching for, and it could be anything. It could be something that I read. It could be articles. It could be music. It could be listening to other artists and their art forms. It could be an insightful conversation. It could be stepping outside and just taking a walk and allowing. Sometimes you have to allow your vehicle, your body, your brain, your heart, your spirit. You have to allow it to. You have to crack the doors open. You have to get your blood flowing, get your endorphins moving, get your synapses firing, and allow it to receive the inspiration that's in front of you all the time. So sometimes I just get outside. I'm taking a walk. My assistant was laughing at me the other day because I was doing some treadmill writing. I'll get on the treadmill, with my papers in front of me, and I'm sitting there looking at my notes, but I need to get that blood flowing. I need to get that energy moving, because when I'm walking and I'm in motion, I allow the ideas and the inspiration to move in front, to move in me. And so I honestly, I try all kinds of tips and techniques, conversations, calling somebody and just saying, let's talk about a life-defining moment, or reading something powerful, or watching an inspirational movie that might have nothing to do with what it is that I'm writing on, what it is that whatever business venture I'm trying to craft ideas for might have nothing to do with that. But the point of it is that it's just cracking you open so that you can receive inspiration from the most unlikely source.
I like that. From the most unlikely source in this evening, this morning, whatever time it is for you. This might be about inspiration for some of you. This might be about how you can impact your life. And for others, the conversation tonight is about how you're going to really generate more income, because you can use the tools, the techniques in which you're going to learn this evening. I see we have none other than the Trevor Otts down there, by the way. He's there hanging out with us there. Now, Sekou, you must have talked to him about not wearing his jacket today. I've been forcing and I've been trying to get him to be more relaxed. There's a setting where you have to have that on. I do get it, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me. And I'm glad you're here tonight. He must have figured the poet was in the house.
I figured the Long Beach crew was going to be in here.
Blue blazer at whatever ungodly hour it is. But he's here. And so, Trevor, want to say hello to Sekou, man. Next time, put like a T-shirt that says "poet" on the front.
Hey, man, really, Sekou is one of my favorite speakers, really on the planet. Mostly because I think that in a world filled with speakers we're in a world now with speakers who have lost their identity. And I think one of the things that Sekou infuses in his training of speakers literally around the world, when I've seen him train, is that there are really two things that you have to have: passion and a unique sense of who you are. And one of the things I really love about his trainings is really, when you go to a Sekou training, is you learn how to pull the message from within, as opposed to looking to the screen or trying to memorize the message. And I love that. And so tonight, you guys are really in for a treat. Mostly because if you know anything about Sekou's schedule, you might take 6 months just to get this guy on the webinar, because the schedule is literally packed almost a year in advance. So, sit back, get your pen out, get your paper out, and get ready, because you're really going to be a part of a masterclass. I know Oprah has a masterclass, but tonight, y'all are in the Sekou masterclass. Hey, welcome, my good friend. How you doing, Sekou?
Hey, dude. I love what you said. I love that intro. I appreciate you for that. And it's always a joy to be with you guys, man. I love, when Che reached out and we decided to come on and do this Google Hangout, it was like, man, this is fun for me. It's a nice break from the grind and from the speaking and from the traveling, and just to sit back, connect with my brothers, and serve your audience in a way that can make them, make their voice more powerful in this world. Like, that's a joy. So it's good to connect with y'all, man.
Well, certainly it's an honor and a privilege to have you and to be able to host you this evening. It's exciting. I remember the very first time I got a chance to meet you, you flew out to one of our events out there when we was up in I forgot the little spot that we were at, Trevor. It was our sales and marketing thing that evening. And Sekou walked in like,
Superstar.
okay,
He
what's
was like,
going on up
I
in
am
here?
awesome. I remember you get the claw shade. That's what we learned. You do the claw shade.
Well, he was saving the claw. I understand the claw, and I remember that we tried to put Sekou in this box. Now Sekou's one of those speakers that he has to move around. You see him down in his chair. He's like do 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 do, and we were like, look, we only got one camera, okay, dude, and the camera only goes this way, and there's this little box, and you've got to stay in the box or you'll be out the frame. Well, Sekou decided he's gonna do whatever he wants to do, which was good because
Make the frame follow you.
But it was awesome. Shay was awesome. You gotta do the claw shade. You gotta do the claw.
You know what I'm saying? You got to make the frame follow you, baby. You know what I mean?
I knew he was so smart.
You the speaker. It's your stage. You own the stage, and you tell the frame, "Hey, come on over here."
I was like,
Come on, come on.
Like, how are we gonna be able to do this? You know what I mean? And so he made it. He made it happen, which was really truly amazing. And as we get into the special stuff, if we can, Sekou, in a moment, just a quick question for those folks that are out there that might be wondering, thinking you live the perfect life. I know you get into your story. I know you're gonna get into how to actually speak and do what you want to do as well. Go ahead. You can go ahead and do that, Trevor, while I'm doing this. That's great. That's a good idea. The question that I have is, how do you get back on track again? Because I agree with you, Trevor. How do you get back on track if you're off track? Now, I know sometimes I find myself off track, and I got to do things to get back on track. So the question I'm having for you this evening, because some folks that are listening, they've been working hard this year. They've been doing the best they can, and for whatever reason, they get started, and then they slow down. And then they get started, and then they slow down. Do you mind stepping back and just having a conversation on what does Sekou do in order to get himself back on track again? And what do you recommend to the folks that are viewing right now that might think they're all alone, they're the only person that's been there?
Listen, as long as you're a human being, you are not the only person that was on track and then got off track and had to figure out how to get back on track. I mean, that's just a side effect, a casualty of life, you know. And I don't have to go back. I don't have to go back to some, you know, I mean, I've had plenty of success stories that started with me being down and then built myself back up and so forth. And I can go through, you know, years of that. But I don't have to go far back because this year, right now, you're catching me in a year where I'm literally on my upswing right now. I started this year, I ended last year as one of my best years ever, right? One of my best years financially, one of my best years with my business, a year of massive change, building my team, you know, sales, all of it. And then this year, just some personal challenges hit. You know, my wife and I, you guys know some of this because it was all over social media. My wife and I trying to start a family and had some, you know, devastating heartbreaks with that just literally knocked the wind out of me, knocked the spiritual wind out of me in a way that I had not experienced before, you know. So all that success, all that momentum, you know how it is. Like you talking about January 1st, man, we hustlers, we hit January 1st like, okay, I got next. What's up? You know what I mean? Like we hit January 1st like, let's go, bring it, baby. You ain't got that's all you got for me? Let's go, you can do better than that. I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? Like we hit January 1st like that, and that's how I was hitting it. I came back from my vacation after the holidays, and I was ready for it. And then life was like, oh, okay, so you stepping up you stepping up into some bigger shoes now? You stepping up into a bigger stage now? You got a bigger playground that you want to play on? Okay, well let me give you some bigger problems, right? Because that's your training ground. You got to overcome bigger adversity if you want to stretch into bigger greatness, right? And so I looked up and was like, man, I had never experienced blows like this that had knocked the wind out of me. And I spent the first half of the year just, I'm not even gonna say it was necessarily a rut, but it was just a momentum. I wasn't coming into the year with the momentum that I had the previous year. It stopped me. You know how it is. If you're rolling downhill, like when your car stops, whatever, you know, you got the old school hoopty with the clutch. You gotta get the car rolling. You know what I mean? Like you gotta pop it into gear, but you gotta get the car rolling to get that momentum. It's a lot easier. You can't do it when you are just sitting idle still. You know. And I was in that place where the momentum had ended. I was sitting idle. I was still. And I had to just begin to dig deep. You know, here's the beautiful thing about being in the inspiration business. Here's the beautiful thing about being in the service business and the personal growth business and the business development business and all of that is that you've already been invested in yourself. You know, you've already been building the muscles. So when all of a sudden you got to use that muscle, you know how you work with a personal trainer and they tell you like you got to train the small muscles too. You can't just get up there and do push-ups all day. You got to train this muscle here and these little muscles you never even knew you had, and you start doing muscle memory. It's muscle switching and to prevent muscle fatigue, and they got you training muscles in your knees and your elbows that you didn't even know you had. Well, the reason is because all of a sudden when you got to pivot on a dime, when you got to lift yourself in a new way, when you got to push an obstacle out of your way that you never had, you can't just rely on the big muscles, right? It's the small muscles that get you through, that prevent you from falling. And so when you're in this business and you're constantly investing in yourself, you're investing in products, you're investing in growth, you're investing in learning and being a lifelong learner, then at the time when you have to now turn your inspirational messages inward to yourself, you got it all in you. It's already there. And so that's really what this year has been about. It's been me telling Sekou all the things that I tell executives across the world, all the things that I tell entrepreneurs, all the things that I tell audiences to empower them, to encourage them, to inspire them. It was me turning that power on myself and saying, you got to get you out of your own way now. And so literally, I think when you live that life of personal growth and investing in yourself, and you say, I may not need this right now, but I know that there is going to be a place when I do need this. So let me start building those muscles right now. That's critical.
Wow. Critical and powerful. For those folks that are just tuning in and just listening, we're here with the Sekou Andrews. I'll read and talk about his bio. We'll get into that good stuff. Some of you are curious. You're like, whoa, who's this guy that's had the opportunity to perform pieces for the president of these United States, Barack Obama and Oprah? Who's the person that's been on Good Morning America, Showtime, MTV, BET? Who's this person? I mean, I'll get into all that. But at the heart of it, you're talking to a person who's an entrepreneur, who's a husband, a person who believes in the community, and someone that gives so much more to your voice, which we'll get into, by the way. We're going to get into that because that's really critical. But you're here. And so if you're here right now, I'd like you to do me a favor. Head on over to virtualnetworkinglive.com. Again, virtualnetworkinglive.com. Once you get there, you open up a Facebook browser, or go to Facebook. Once you get there, go ahead and type in your first name, type in your last name. More importantly, tell us where you're from. And today, we're going to give you an opportunity to highlight what you do. So you go ahead today and you can share what you do. How do you solve a problem? So today is an opportunity to recognize you. So go ahead and do that now. So looking forward to connecting with you. And then secondly, I see we have Candace Camille's out there, by the way. She's on. So Candace Camille, thanks a lot for joining. Ardella Ruffin. She's Ardella Ruffin Vegas Weddings of the South. She's from Columbus, Georgia. Thank you so much for coming. She said she was born and raised in Washington, D.C. on Georgia Avenue. We know what that is, downtown from the street of Howard University. I know Sekou knows all about that. I know he was at Duke Ellington. Was that where you were? Where were you?
I was at Duke Ellington for the first year, and then I was at Georgetown Day where I graduated.
That's right. So he knows what Georgia Avenue is. He knows what Howard University is.
Both sides of Georgia Avenue. I was up and down a whole bit. Yep.
Well, welcome all those folks who are joining. And here's something else we want to do, because tonight he'll get a chance to talk about not so much how to light your fire, though that's going to be important, but I'm going to ask him some questions because he has something coming up, and he's really sharing some of the rock star secrets for folks out there that are using speaking as one of the platforms to get their message out, to share their story, to introduce their expertise. And he's done this, which we'll get a chance to find out about. But before we do that, go ahead and look right above the feed. There's a little share button, and we don't want to just hold this to us. We want to pay a message forward. And the message, Trevor, unless you think differently, when you hit that button up top, I want you to type these words: "You are awesome." Now he's going to explain what all that means, because I know I want to give his stuff away. But hit the share button. Hit the share button. Now you're writing the words "You are awesome," not so much for yourself, although I want you to believe that, but you're doing it for the person that sees that message, the person this morning that got up and they got off to a fast start and they're still going. And also the other person is like, oh man, if you knew what my day has been like, I'm not feeling that way. And you can change someone's life like that. So hit the share button right above, hit the share button and type "You are awesome," and then put Sekou Andrews is speaking now. But you are awesome. Sekou Andrews is speaking now. I told to Trevor Otts to have a couple comments, Sekou, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Right. So a couple things as we get started. Sekou, we've been having this awesome conversation over really the last couple of weeks. And it's been around, today is your January 1st. Like today is my January 1st. Today is your January 1st. And if you're watching online, bring the house down. I can guarantee you that. And so before we bring the house down, here's what I want you to do. Look above the video. Everybody who's watching now, look above the video and hit the share button. Hit the Facebook share button above the video and put Sekou is speaking live now. Just put Sekou is speaking live now. Learn the secrets of public speaking mastery.
Yeah.
Go ahead, post that right there. Go ahead, hit the share button. Now, if you know anything about a hangout with the Shay and the Trevors and the Peak Performance Institute and the Sekou Andrews, you know that we are a big believer in paying it forward. And one of the things that we decided that we were going to do starting in 2013 is that we were going to be the #1 collaborators in the country, bar none. That there was not going to be another company, another person, another group that was going to out-collaborate us. But the key thing to collaboration, the key thing for us to be able to achieve that goal, we got to collaborate with people who are going to collaborate. So there was collaborate to the first level, but now we need to get collaboration ×2, ×3. You know, back in math class where they taught you exponents like 2 to the 3rd power. This is like collaboration to the 3rd power, to the 4th power, to the 5th power. So hit that share button above the video right now before we go and get started, and use the hashtag awesome. Hashtag for today is awesome. Hashtag awesome. And we're going to be tracking that hashtag in. For a few lucky people, there will be a special gift for a few lucky people. So if there's a nugget that comes out, if there's a note that comes out, and you love that note, nugget, type it into the group, type it on your Facebook page, and put hashtag awesome at the end. Use the hashtag awesome. So some of you are watching now, you're like, well, where do I post it at? Well, come on over to the private, the elusive, the exclusive Facebook group. There's no other group like it on the planet. You can get there by going to virtualnetworkinglive.com. That's right. Come on over to virtualnetworkinglive.com. And when you get there, here's what we want you to do. Post your first name. Post your last name. Tell us where you're from. Yeah. And then tell us a little bit about the product and the service, the mission, the organization, or the brand that you represent. Sometimes I know that when we're out here in this networking space, in this business space, we are so excited to tell people about the products and the services and the missions and the businesses that we represent, that we forget that the thing that makes our business interesting, the thing that makes our product and services special is us. It's you. And so people, before they want to know about your products and services, they really want to know about you. So come on over to the private, the elusive, the exclusive Facebook group, baby. Come on over. And when you get there, you can get there by going to virtualnetworkinglive.com. And when you get there, post your first name, post your last name, tell us where you're from, and then tell us a little bit about the product, the service, the mission, the organization, and the brand that you represent. And one of the reasons that we do it that way, especially for those new viewers that are new to the tribe, is that Sekou is going to give you some wonderful and some amazing and some awesome tips about how to really get to that next level as a public speaker. But there may be other people who need your services. You know, there are people, if you want to learn how to be an amazing speaker, talk to Sekou. You know, if you want to learn about being an awesome marketer, talk to me. But everybody has something to bring to the table, and we want to make sure that in this tribe, we honor you, the entrepreneur. We honor you, the professional. We honor you, that person out there that can do generation. So go ahead and post that into the group. Now, here's the thing. We're talking about Revenue Countdown 2K17. And I want you to understand that today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today is your January 1st. And why is today your January 1st? Because on January 1st, that's when we like to get started with new ideas. That's when we like to recommit to new goals. That's when we said, what's that thing they set nowadays every New Year's? What's that thing they do, say? Could they set something every New Year's Day or every New Year's?
I think what they call it is a resolution.
Right, resolution, right? And if we can find some resolve for the things today, for the things we want to achieve tomorrow, then you're doing all right. Because when we say resolution, it's really finding that resolve. And so today is your January 1st, and since today is January 1st, we're kicking it off with none other than Sekou Andrews. I turn it over to you, my good friend.
All right, thanks so much, man. I mean, Sekou, I'm going to introduce you. I appreciate your patience and kind of hanging out, but just real quick, I'm just curious. Inquiring minds might want to know, um, what was the biggest challenge you had even getting into the speaking business? We're going to talk about that. I'm going to introduce you in just a second. I know I keep saying that, but you're talking about speaking, and they're probably thinking this guy has probably had no problems in his whole life. What was one of the biggest challenges you had just becoming a speaker, number one? And number two behind that, how did you overcome it?
Well, there were no shortages of challenges for me becoming a speaker. Listen, whatever challenges you're going through, whatever challenges you think you have in terms of getting into the speaking game, I guarantee you I got you beat, okay? Because I built my entire speaking category off of spoken word poetry. That's right. Spoken word poetry, that thing that most of y'all out there probably think you hate. You can't stand, either you can't stand spoken word poetry. I always tell people when I go to businesses and the host introduces me and says we're going to bring up a poetic voice and he's won the National Slam Championships and all this kind of stuff. People literally are like, oh my God, a poet, what else can I be doing right now besides listening to this? Like, maybe I could do my taxes or something, or cut my fingernails, anything besides listening to this, So I got that challenge going up against me, all the preconceived notions of what spoken word poetry is. You think about, beat poets and some guy with the bass standing behind you in a beret and he's playing. You think about, a slam poet and somebody, spitting a poem for 3 minutes, yelling at you for 3 minutes about something, or academic literary poetries about some soliloquy to a daffodil that you don't really understand, and all these preconceived notions of what people think poetry is that I was constantly battling up against. So that was the first challenge. The other challenge is the value. Even if you do love spoken word poetry, even if you find yourself going, oh my God, it's a poet, I love poetry, poetry is still the thing that you see typically on, a Tuesday or a Thursday night at some local cafe for $5 or for free, So as I was building a business around this, there was an incredibly low perceived value. Speakers get paid $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 to come speak, but the poet was almost like, you should be happy to take this $500 or $1,000, kid. Here, go on, take these pennies, you know what I mean? And let me go ahead and be happy with that, But yet, so there was a perceived value on the front end, but on the back end, then they're coming to me saying, well, wow, like this was more powerful than we expected. You gave us more value than our speakers gave us, or you captured our event in a way that we weren't even able to crystallize in your 10-minute presentation or whatever. So then I'm going, well, clearly there's a disconnect between the perceived value and the actual value delivered. And so it became up to me to bridge that gap, and to merge the two and to create that value in this industry. And that has been one of the incredible challenges for me, is just the uphill battle of letting people know. I mean, it's high risk when you move into a space that doesn't exist. I've created something that doesn't exist in poetic voice. And when you create something that doesn't exist, it's a risk for people to be the early adopters, to take it on. And especially when they got $1 million, multi-million-dollar event and they're putting their, you high stakes, they're putting all their trust in you to rock their crowd at the opening of their conference that could make or break them and ruin their job. Like I always say, I'm dealing with one person who's the visionary in the organization, and they're turning around to their, they're the one that brought me in, and they're turning around to their leadership or their board or the skeptics in their community and saying, don't worry, I know all the stuff you're thinking, don't worry, he's gonna be awesome, don't worry. And then they turn to me and go, please be awesome. You know what I mean? And so there's that sense of like, we gotta, like my job was on the line for going to bat for you. And so there's a lot of challenges that I've had over the course of building this, and just letting people know, like, yeah, I'm worth $20,000, $50,000, $30,000 for your event. Absolutely, I'm going to deliver that value for you, and I'm going to give you something that you have never had in any other speaker. I'm going to bring you the power of the entertainer. I'm going to bring you the power of the performer. I'm going to bring you the power of a rock star without you having to sacrifice the content. You don't have to choose between I'm going to get the entertainer and then I'm going to have my speaker deliver the PowerPoint with the facts and here's the statistics and the data. I'm going to give you all the statistics and the data and all those points, all that brand messaging, and deliver it through the vehicle of art and performance so that it's stickier, it's more moving, it's more memorable for your audience, and they can dance in the aisles while also learning how to be great.
So, one, I love that. By the way, Sekou, I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce you to Cheryl Wood. She just popped on. Hey, Cheryl, let's get a mic check on Cheryl Wood.
Mic check, mic check. Can y'all hear me? Mic check, mic check.
All right.
Fired up already. I just got on. How you going to be fired up in the first 20 seconds of the presentation?
You know we can kick the party. The party is going to get started, you know.
Just saying, look, y'all see, I ain't playing with you. I ain't playing with you, boy. I got my notepad and my pen.
See, look, bust it out. Bust it out.
Now I'm telling y'all are in for a treat tonight. We got Cheryl Wood, you got Sekou. Come on, you got Playtime is Over, and you got it's going to be amazing tonight. And here's the thing. Both of them, y'all were both at 72 hours at the same time, and y'all just missed each other in passing. Like literally, y'all missed each other in passing. But I love having y'all both. I said, we gotta get ready to rock and roll. So I was like, we gotta get everybody on, get these people connected. And this is one of the things that we mean about collaborating, which is you'll see a Shay and a Trevor and a Cheryl and a Dell, and you'll see this great collaboration. And that's the one thing that we got to be more focused on in really 2016 and beyond, which is stop seeing people as competitors and start seeing people as colleagues, and that we can help each other really get ahead. And so tonight, y'all are really in for a special treat. Hit the share button above, hit the Facebook share button above, and let everybody know that Sherwood and Sekou Andrews is in the house, and Shay Brown. And hey, tonight's going to be, if you ever wanted to speak in your life, if you ever just wanted to pick up a microphone, if you ever just wanted to get in front of a camera, if you ever thought about making a living as a speaker, good God Almighty, tonight is the night that you want to be on. You want to get your daggone pen out. You want to be ready. And basically, as they say, when the student is ready, right, the teacher will show. Well, let me tell you something. The teachers have showed. Y'all got it tonight. So Shay, I'll go ahead and pass it to you real quick. And
absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and we kicked off, but let's go ahead and double kick off. And here's what's going to happen. If you're out there right now and you want to know how can you ask a question, I'm going to turn over to Sekou. I'm going to do an introduction now. But you want to know how can I ask a question? How can I connect? Where is the community at right now? Let me tell you where you can head it over to. You can open up a Facebook browser, or open up just a browser in general, and type in virtualnetworkinglive.com. Again, www.virtualnetworkinglive.com. It's where all the action is taking place. It's where the goodies may be given. It's where you can find out what's going on, but you can ask your questions there as well. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you. For those that have shared it, because you hit the share button earlier, I will acknowledge Michelle Hudson Birch, who's joining for the very first time. Welcome to the group. Diane Smith, who's in Maryland, welcome. Thanks for joining again. Candace, Fort Washington, thanks for joining. Delitra Hudson from St. Louis, Missouri, thanks for joining, the financial wellness coach. Also, Lyman Montgomery, Get Focused, the #1 African-American focus expert in the country, is here and join it as well, and Common right there at the front row. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce none other than the person who's already been talking, which is really cool, Sekou. There's some people, you can't say a word to them until you've read the official bio. You know what I mean? They don't even want to be seen. They're like, look, just let me know when I'm coming on, and I'll just come on, and I'll just show up. But what I admire most about Sekou is he's an everyday person as well. And he'll show up early. He'll stay late.
My bio, Trey. I am more than my bio. I'm a bleed. If you cut me, do I not bleed?
Well, first of all, the bio's like 10 pages long, so I couldn't get to the I'm sorry. That's only for the folks online that can see the bio. You're right. You're right. I'm going to read some snippets of it. I'm going to do you justice. I promise you. But most importantly, he showed up tonight for one reason and one reason only. There's 115 days to go to January 1st. And although today is your January 1st, we want to make sure that you do the revenue countdown, that you give it everything that you possibly have. So we've asked some of the best, the brightest, the smartest, the most intelligent folks to come in to just do one thing and one thing only, give you exactly what you need. I'm going to ask them to do something special, by the way, but I'm also going to try to do something else as well. So let me go ahead and read the bio if I can. And then, I'm thinking of something first if I can. I know y'all like, Shay, I want Sekou. Don't worry, I promise. He won't hang up. Cheryl, just real quick if we can. Sekou, I'm going to read it so you get ready. The folks are here. We're talking about today is my January 1st. And I did ask Sekou the question, what does it mean for today to be your January 1st? To get a fresh start, a new opportunity. For some folks, it's new clients. For some folks, it's a new relationship. For some folks, they're starting a new diet. For others, it's more focused. You saw Lyman Montgomery out there. For others like myself, it's how can I be more productive than I am right now? It started today. What does today is my January 1st? What does that mean to you if you can? And then Sekou, I'll go right to the bio after that. Over to you, Cheryl. I'll give you a couple minutes.
All right. Well, mic check. I'm here. I'm ready. All right, look, for me, you guys know, everything for me is all about playtime is over. And what I mean by that is I don't have time for excuses. I don't have time for procrastinating and worrying about what I'm going to do tomorrow because I don't know that tomorrow's coming. So plain and simple for me, it means what am I going to do today? What am I putting on my to-do list today so that I can create my legacy, so that I can live in my legacy? And for me, it's all about impacting the world with my gift, impacting the world with my greatness, knowing that I am enough just as I am to leave a mark on this world, knowing that someone is waiting for me to show up in all of my greatness, show up knowing that I have more that's going against me, knowing that they're not going to move forward until I move forward. So for me, when I say I'm going to use these last 100 or so days in the year to be productive, to have a life of abundance, to be able to help other people to achieve prosperity, I'm not playing with my time. See, I can get that, but what I can't get is my time. I cannot get more time. So you cannot play with my time. All about being intentional. It's about having a strategy, knowing who I'm becoming, knowing where I'm going, knowing whose lives I'm going to impact, knowing that I'm taking this God-given gift, this assignment globally, international, y'all, not local, not in the local pond, but in the global ocean. What? We got work to do. We don't have to around and play look like. No, tell me what it does look like, because you have walked into your calling. Because you have walked into that space. This is where I can breathe here, because this is where I belong. See, I'm in a zone right now. When I sat behind that desk for 15 years as a legal secretary, shuffling papers, answering phones, being who they told me I had to be every day that I showed up, I wasn't breathing. I wasn't living. I was existing. And I had to claim this power within, this internal power, to say, you know what? Take the opportunity to live away from me another single day. So for me, this last 100 and so days of this year is just like it's been all the rest of the year, the other 200 and something days of the year. It's all about intention. It's about me strategizing. It's about me collaborating. My mama told me, Cheryl, go where you are celebrated, not tolerated. But what I add to that is go where you're celebrated and accelerated. So why did I jump on this call? Because guess what? Accelerate me where I'm going. I need to be around people who have the same type of energy and vibe and say, you know what? I'm cut from this cloth where good ain't good enough. Mediocre. No, there is more. And as soon as I get to that more, I know there's some more. And as soon as I impact people over here in India, there's some people over here in the UK I need to. So it's about being intentional. It's about being strategic. It's about having this collaborative force where I know that together we can get more than we can apart. That's what I'm doing with the last 100 and something days of 2016 and going into 2017. What? Playtime is over, y'all. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Playtime is over. Cheryl, you're right. 150 days to go. I love it. What? Sekou, what you got to say about that? I'm going to introduce him. Ladies and gentlemen, he has something to share with you. Sekou, you're supposed to stay in the chair. You're supposed to stay. See, Trevor, there he goes again, getting outside the box.
What?
Man, they are not playing around
here,
tonight.
dude. About to
Sekou, you
get
gotta
crunk
tell me
up
where you
here.
gonna be. Where you gonna be? I'm buying a ticket.
What?
I'm getting a plane ticket tonight. Where you gonna
What?
be next? Where you gonna be next? I'm coming.
Listen. Saying, we're about to burn something down up in this piece.
I need to know where
sorry.
Sekou gonna be next. I'm trying to get my ticket right now. I'm trying to get online and get my flight right now.
Hey,
man.
You come to Indy.
Yeah,
Come
look,
to
you need
Indy.
to come on down to play. Time is over too. You need to come on down to DC.
That's
Come back
right.
and visit.
That's right, Michelle.
Oh man, Cheryl, thanks so much for sharing. You see me having you open it up, by the way. But today is your January 1st, and you're not alone because the crew has joined you. With that being said, let me take a moment, if I can, because we have none other than the Sekou Andrews who's here tonight on Revenue Countdown 2K17, part of the Revenue Roundtable series. We're excited. You have myself, Shay Brown. You have Trevor Otts. You have the Cheryl Wood. And then the person this evening that's going to be having a conversation, not a presentation, but a conversation, none other than Sekou Andrews. And you might be wondering, who is Sekou Andrews? Well, you can go find Sekou Andrews over at SekouAndrews.com. I like that. He makes it real easy for folks, right? Sekou, S-E-K-O-U, Andrews.com. But a little bit about him. He's the leading poet. I'm got this thing right in front of me, but he's the leading poet voice. Sekou creates powerful poetic presentations to give voice to the missions of organizations and help them to tell their most powerful stories. Hear me, hear that, hear that. Now, he is the creator of this new, refreshing, cutting-edge speaking category that really fuses inspirational speaking with spoken word poetry to make messages more moving and memorable. Okay, Trevor, you heard that. Moving and memorable. Okay, I can't wait. I can't wait. I like that. But let me tell you, because you might be wondering, Shay, take another 60 seconds and, tell me a little about, what he's been able to do as well. He's going to share, a little bit this evening with you. But believe it or not, you might be wondering how he got started, although he was in the streets of Washington, D.C. He was an elementary school teacher. Then he turned actor, musician, national poetry slam champion. Now, go Google that. I had to look that up. Sekou, I'm not going to steal it. That's amazing just by itself. Okay, that's like being the top Toastmaster out there. He's an entrepreneur, so he's going to relate with many of you out there. And now the award-winning poet voice, any given day, you may find Sekou presenting an original talk tonight. I'm joking. For international marketing executives, or giving a keynote speech at a leadership conference, or performing pieces in front of the president, Barack Obama, and Oprah. Now, he's done a number of different things. Let me just share who he's worked with, whom he's spoken with, and tonight he gets to add this one platform that's going to take what he's done and tilt it this way, and that is he's down on the Revenue Roundtable. But in all seriousness, his work has been featured, and pay attention to this, because it's not about what he's done, because he's going to be doing so much more, but it adds depth to some of you who might be wondering, did he just wake up this morning and watch a YouTube video and get excited before he got here, right? Did he go on Google and Google something, what folks do, and get a few quotes and just show up? It speaks to the depth, it speaks to the knowledge, it speaks to his experience, and the expertise that he's going to be able to share this evening. So listen to this, because I'm not trying to brag on a guy, but I want to make sure that you understand that this person is given of their time and their talent this evening to help myself, Trevor, Cheryl, and more importantly, you. And I promise you, hang in there. Tonight is going to be life-changing for you, and tonight is your night. This is your moment, and this is your time. So he's worked with, he's worked at outlets with ABC World News, MSNBC, HBO, Good Morning America, Showtime, MTV, and BET. And he has performed privately for such prominent individuals as Maya Angelou, late Maya Angelou, Quincy Jones, Larry King, Hillary Clinton. I mean, he's been there with Sean P. Diddy Combs. He's been there with the Coretta Scott King family. He's done a lot. He's been with Nike, Time Warner, Global Green, eBay, Microsoft, Google, TEDx. I'm not going to go on. NBA, NCAA. I mean, I'm going to stop right there because you might be thinking, Shay, you're trying to brag too much. No, that's not the case. He's an everyday person just like you, but I want you to know what he's done and what he's speaking with. So with that being said, it is my honor, it's Trevor's honor, it's Cheryl's privilege to turn it over to none other than the person himself, Sekou Andrews, coming to us all the way from LA, California, coming all the way across over here to Washington, D.C. Over to you, Sekou. Thanks so much for being here, man. We appreciate it. Thank you. Lots of love. Appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. Well, it's a joy. It's a joy being here. It's a joy sharing this time and this space with you guys, and really just being able to come down off the road, come down off the stage, come down from telling the stories, the powerful stories to organizations across the world, to individuals across the world, and to kind of provide this little sneak peek, behind the curtain into how it's done. I love being able to serve audiences that way, because you stand on stage and you have the lights on you, and you have the energy and the endorphins and the amazing aspects of being on any stage that are just a part of that experience. The crowd response, the harnessing the energy of a crowd, commanding a room, all of that stuff, and delivering a message and getting everybody on their feet at the end, and the roaring applause, and it's just it's intoxicating. And yet people have this disconnect. They feel like that's this person's gift. That's this person's magic. You know what I mean? That's their genius. I wish I could do that. I used to get that all the time. I wish I could do that. How do you do that? And I used to tell people all the time, like, I don't know. That's my magic. That's God's gift. That's my genius. And after a while, I started to realize there is a point. It's not all magic. There is a point at which the magic ends and the mastery begins. There's a point at which this gift that is mine ends, and the practice and the training and the technique and all of that begins. And I began to look at that. There's techniques that I use in every presentation. There's an approach that I take to every time I step on stage. There's a way that I control my nervousness every single time I go to a stage, and I get it, and I don't just eliminate my nervousness, but I allow my nervousness to work for me. I harness my nervousness every single time. There's repeatable, teachable things that I do. There's ways that I begin a presentation so that I make sure that in the first 2 minutes I set the tone. I let the audience know who I am. I find out who they are with very specific things that I do. There are ways that I use my body to communicate a story. There are ways that I use my physicality. I use my injecting myself through space. I use my planes. I use proximity. I use my voice. I use my eyes. I use my energy every single time to stand out from every single presenter that is on that stage before or after me. And as I began to really dissect what are those things, I realized, well, that is shareable. That is teachable. That I can and serve this world, to allow them to go out, to allow you to go out and become far more powerful than you ever thought that you could be, to stand out far more than you ever thought that you could, to become a more powerful voice for your community, right? For your cause, for your organization, your company, right? And once I began to realize that I had not been serving the world in that way, I realized that it was time for me to step up to a bigger stage. Not the stage of 5,000 people in a room, not the stage of 18,000 in an amphitheater, not the stage of 300 senior leaders at a Fortune 500 company, but the stage of one person at a time that says, this is my need, this is what I need to learn, teach me how to do that thing. And so that's been this year for me. It's really been a 2-year process, because I'm a 5th grade teacher. My last job that I ever had before I stepped into my own company was being a 5th grade elementary school teacher. Shout out to 6th Avenue Elementary School, California. And I did that, so I'm used to that teaching stage. But when I stepped into businesses, and listen, if you think your audience is hard, try 5th graders. You know what I'm saying? You ain't had an audience harder than, only audience harder than 5th graders is probably 7th or 8th graders, maybe seniors in high school because they ain't thinking about you, they're thinking about college, and maybe like 5 seniors to them, and they love everything you do, But the 5th, 6th, 7th grade, that's a hard audience. So I cut my teeth on one of the hardest audiences you could ever have. And then I took it out to the world and I began speaking to corporate executives and so forth. But then I made the return to teaching a couple of years ago and said, I need to build this service out for the world. And that was no small undertaking. That was me as a businessman saying, I'm changing my entire business model. I had no infrastructure for this. I was one man, one stage, one check for over a dozen years. Checks got bigger and bigger, business got bigger and bigger, stages got bigger, audiences got bigger and bigger, but still, that was the model. One man, one stage, one check. So suddenly I had to create an entire new infrastructure for, merchant accounts and volunteers at conferences and exhibit booths and, PayPal swipers and, figuring out how closing scripts and so forth and all of this that was not a part of my business model. And so it was a challenge. I invested in myself, like I told you at the beginning of this hangout. I began to invest in some executive business coaching. I set up a roundtable of coaching with a team that has become, not just my coaches and mentors, but my family and my sisters and my brothers over at Motivating the Masses. Lisa Nichols' company, they put, people kept telling Lisa, you need to meet Sekou. People kept telling Sekou, you need to meet Lisa. And finally, we were walking past each other in a hallway, and our collective teams just pushed us together and said, y'all go talk. And they saw something that we didn't see, that we didn't know at the beginning, and they were right. Like, that's become my sister and my colleague and my partner and my mentor. And I began doing a lot of business coaching with her, with Susie, who's been an amazing executive business coach for me, and the whole round table, and just looking at marketing and sales and infrastructure and operations and finance and all of these things, building those small muscles, building those new muscles, I should say. They're not small, but building those new muscles. And create when over at Power Networking, and we did our thing there and shared the stage. You guys brought me over to your stage, give some shine to your event and your audience, and reconnected at your SuperCon, and I just began doing these different events, just training myself, just being in these are the scrimmages, these are the bouts that get you to the Olympics, that get you to the finals and the playoff and the Super Bowl, and taking every single one. I had my hits, I had my failures, I had these events where I sold nothing, I had events where I had them running back to the back of the room. Like I had every step of the way, I had different failures and successes, but I just considered it my training ground. But the one thing I never did was I never actually formally launched it, And so, now fast forward, 2 years later, here I am sitting back and now applying a whole new set of muscles as I begin to just bring this out to the world. And I begin to actually say, now it's time. I've done it live at events. I've done it live at conferences. I've also been training executives. The thing is that the curriculum, the skill set was not built at these conferences. The curriculum, the skill set, the system of my training was built training senior leaders at Fortune 500 companies, the people who are running multi-billion-dollar companies, who are coming to me saying, I'm the CEO and I need to be more dynamic. I need to be engaging. They don't have to. They already CEO. They, the paycheck is fat. The business is huge. They're set. So this is not like, oh my gosh, I got to do this so I can make rent. These people don't need me from a success standpoint. They need me from I know that I can be more standpoint. I know that I am not being the most compelling, confident leader that I can be, and I need to do that in order to step into a bigger stage of leadership, right? Or to inspire my community in new ways. And so I'm working with these VPs and these CEOs and these brand ambassadors and these chief marketing officers and so forth, who are saying, teach me how to be authentic. More authentic, so I can learn how to be more authentically myself in front of my community. Teach me how to be more engaging so that I can connect more deeply. Teach me how to create intimacy with an audience of 1,000. When I watch you, Sekou, on stage, you were speaking in front of 5,000 people, and yet I felt like every word was for me. How do you do that? So that when I'm inspiring my team, they don't feel like I'm just giving some robotic rote speech. They feel like I'm connecting with them deeply, personally, viscerally. Teach me how to do that. And that's where I began to just learn the techniques and create the techniques and apply the techniques that would help them apply performance techniques to business stages. And once I realized that that was my secret sauce, that I had built a successful speaking career, never having been trained as a speaker. Think about that. I built a successful speaking career, 5-figure speaking fees, speaking around the world, speaking to the world's largest organizations, the most elite conferences, standing on stage with the most dynamic, best-selling author this and celebrity speaker that, and I have never been trained as a speaker. I was trained as a performer, and I took those performance techniques and I applied them to business stages in order to stand out more powerfully on business stages. And so when people were coming to me, they weren't saying, hey, make me a performer. I want to learn how to be a dancer. I want to learn how to be an improv artist. I want to do stand-up comedy. Though they weren't saying that. They were saying, I feel like my comedy is not, my humor is not effective in my business environment. I feel like I could be funnier and connect more deeply in that way. I feel like I could have my speeches be more infectious, where I want my audience to walk away and the message is stickier. They can't get it out of their head, right? And so I began to just say, well, okay, so if you want to create almost like a hit song speech, if you want your audience to be walking away from your speech reciting your message the same way that they can't get because I'm happy out of their head, or hey soul sister, or don't believe it, just watch, or all these songs every summer that blew up our radio waves and we could not get out of our head. If you want that to be your message for your audience, then why are you writing your speech like a speechwriter and not like a songwriter? Why are you not creating a hit song from your speech? So let's recraft the way that you think about your speech so that you craft it like verse A, verse B, chorus, hook, bridge, outro, intro. This is the part where the gospel choir the curtains get pulled back and the gospel choir is revealed in my speech. This is the part where I stage dive into the audience and they catch me in my speech. Why are you not writing your speech like a performer? If you want to be more graceful on stage, why are you just learning from speakers? Why are you not learning from dancers? Dancers who tell an entire story with their body and no words. Don't talk to me about how dry and boring your content is and how you can't make it powerful, how you can't make your words powerful when a dancer can make a story powerful with no words. So why are you not learning from that dancer? Not so that you can go off and be a dancer, but so that you can learn to use your body in ways that communicate things without having to have words. We know what a dancer is saying love or rejection, right? We know when a dancer is saying hope, right? So how are you not using your hand gestures and your physical gestures to amplify the power of your body, of your storytelling, right? If you try to learn to be more humorous with your slides, your PowerPoint slides, why are you not learning the comedian's timing? If you want to be more authentic in yourself, why are you not thinking of your speaking like an actor? Jamie Foxx plays an award-winning role of Ray. Meryl Streep plays an award-winning role of Margaret Thatcher. Why are you not playing an Oscar-winning, Oscar-winning performance of yourself? Right? You are your best role, and you are powerful off stage. But then you get on stage, and suddenly you're awkward in your body. You're fidgety. You're pacing, you're laughing in a weird way, you can't remember, you go blank, you start speaking too fast, whatever it is, you go, this is not me, this is not who I authentically am on stage. So why are you not studying how to play you like an actor? You want to own the room. You want to become distraction proof so that nothing in the room can ever throw you off, and you don't have to feel sensitive and vulnerable and always at risk when you step on stage of a door slamming or a baby crying or somebody standing up or a person falling asleep in front of you, all these things that throw us off. Then why are you not learning from improv artists, right? Improv artists who take any disaster that you throw at them and they convert it into delight. And that's what you're looking for, to turn disaster into delight. So why are you not learning the skills of an improv artist? The improv artist doesn't say, everybody be quiet, nobody say anything that I hadn't prepared for, nobody do anything that's distracting, everybody just be still and be quiet. I'm just going to deliver my content. I got my speech, I got my words, I got it all planned out, and if everything could just be still and allow me to deliver this, I can be powerful and effective. That's not how the real world works. You know that in your business. You prepare your business for the worst. You get insurance, You prepare your team, you strategize, you think through worst case scenarios, you prepare to be able to pivot on a dime so that when disruption hits or disaster hits, you can handle it. So why do you not do that as a leader for yourself when you're standing on stage, so that no matter what happens when you communicate, you can handle it, you can embrace it, you can welcome it even, and turn it into delight? Right? So as I just began to think, like, this is the mentality that I have, and it's the performer's mentality. It's not the speaker's mentality. So how can I give this gift to speakers? Not to make them performers, to make them better speakers. To answer that one question that I used to get all of the time: Sekou, how can I perform my speech? I want to perform my speech. And once I made that connection, and realize, well, then you need to stop thinking like a speaker, and you need to start thinking and training and learning like a performer. That's what led me to deliver Rockstar Secrets for public speakers. So I appreciate you guys having me on and allowing me to share some of these secrets and forever. So I'm Matt, and I'm a, you guys can just toss some questions at me if there's something that you want to learn as a speaker. If there's a way that you think that you could be better or more dynamic, or something that you hear from your audience, or if the audience has questions or whatever, why don't y'all just shout some questions out to me, and I'll just start giving you some of the secrets that I'm going to give. I'm doing this webinar where I'm just gonna pour into people. It's happening on the 27th, September 27th. I'm going to do this webinar. I'm just going to pour into people, and if you sign up, I'm just going to give you, my body telling techniques. I'm going to give you my communication calibrators, how you can use that first 2 minutes to make bold statements, to use friction, drama, suspense, state changes, all these different techniques to calibrate your audience and learn who they are and tell them who you are in the first 2 minutes, so that you're successful the rest of the speech. I'm going to teach you techniques called maximum stage and minimum stage, maximum wage, right? That basically just says, people always talk about, what if I'm not big and dynamic like you, or what if I'm just working with a camera frame, or what if I'm just on the phone, or if I'm just in a bedroom, a boardroom, or a bedroom, but or a boardroom, and I'm not on a big main stage. How can I still be mighty? And so I teach minimum stage, maximum wage. I don't care how small your stage is, you can be mighty on it, right? And so all these different techniques, your rock star ritual, what you're doing before you step on stage, to be able to harness that nervousness and optimize your power the same way that a performer does, learning the techniques, learning the things that actors and singers and comedians and breakdancers and beatboxers and DJs and all these different types of artists do to optimize their performance on stage. You get to get a sneak peek into all those secrets, right? Making giving your nerves a W-2 and making them work for you. Give your nerves a W-2 and make them work for you, right? People always talk about, like, how do I stop nervousness? No, don't stop nervousness. You make nervousness work for you. You want a little bit of nervousness because it keeps you present, right? It keeps you focused. It keeps you realizing that something could go wrong. And so I look right now like something could go wrong. And so I stay present, and I stay focused, and I stay energized, and I stay passionate, and I stay locked in. And it helps me to get in the zone, and those endorphins and that adrenaline is firing, because I recognize I've got to make sure that I stay present. I don't want anything to go wrong. If I believe that I'm flawless and nothing can go wrong, then that's how you get that speaker that we've all seen who gets on stage and they look like they're just reading their speech out of memory, and they've done it a million times, and you can tell they've done it a million times, and they're barely connected with you because they go, listen, I got this. Nothing can go wrong. It's fine. I'm not invested. So you want to harness that nervousness, and you want to make it work for you. So these are all the different techniques that I just found myself going, I can teach people this. Like the back of my hand. It's easy, and it's a mindset shift. The same way that you talk about the mindset shift of your January begins now here in September. Your January is happening. Your 2017 starts today. That's a simple mindset shift. And these rockstar secrets that I'm giving away, it's a mindset shift to unlearn how it is that you learned as a speaker, take off that speaker hat, put on that performer hat, and allow yourself to perform a speech and believe in some new possibilities that you can achieve for yourself, so that you can be more confident and connected and compelling than you've ever been, than you ever thought that you can be. And you can. And I'm going to help you.
Love it, man.
I love that. I mean, you can help them. Cheryl, let me come to you. I know you're a student. You're always in the front row. We're always learning. The question is, when do you stop learning? You never stop learning. What are your thoughts? What are your takeaways? We'll get to questions that folks have, but you're an expert. It's your field as well. What are your thoughts?
Oh my God, I love it. Everything. I have, a front and a back page of notes. And look, I do this for a living. This is what I do. I pour into people. I'm in stages of 5,000 and sometimes stages of 50 people. So you are all, like you said, you're always a student. You're always learning. So I love to be able to sit in the front row and to experience somebody else who has truly mastered their craft. I think of everything that you said, which again, I have a page and a half of notes. I love what you said at the very beginning, which is there's a point in which the magic ends and the mastery begins. I said, boy, you better preach. You better preach. What? I had to put myself on mute over here. I was going to go. There is a point, because you're right. Everybody, they look at you and they think that there's just this magic, this special formula or potion that you have and only you have it. And that's farthest from the truth. And I love that you're sharing your gift and pouring that into not just being a performer, but being an educator, being somebody who inspires other people and showing people the real craft of speaking and of engaging with an audience and not just reading from a sheet of paper where you, like you said, when you said about those songs, you got to create a hit song. I was like, boy, I'm gonna have to get his permission to do some of this stuff in some of my speeches, because this is good. This is good. So I think that's the importance of, like you said, everything that you talked about, just really being a master of your craft. And mastery takes thousands of hours. It's not just, oh, I started yesterday, I practiced a couple times and I'm good and I got this. No, it's mastery means you're consistently refining it. You're consistently reevaluating. How can I get better? Like I'm watching you. I'm watching people like Lisa Nichols. I'll be speaking with her in a couple weeks here in Maryland. I'm watching people like Della Toro. I'm like, man, y'all are bad. Y'all are killing the game. I'm trying to kill it with y'all. So for me, I'm always looking and saying, what is it that I can add on to enhance what I already bring to the world with my own greatness? What else can I add to that thing? So I think, I'm encouraging everybody to sign up for this webinar that you're going to be having. I'll be signing up for the webinar. I love how you talked about using your body to communicate the story, using your eyes and your energy. Like, that's real stuff right there. And so everybody needs to be taking notes. This made my night, and I wasn't even planning on being here. What you talking about?
That's right. Well, and what's amazing about you, Cheryl, is that like your passion is infectious. So you it comes through. Like the minute that as soon as the mic is passed to you, oh, I'm up. Okay, here's what we about to do. Here's what's going down. Here's how you about to feel. Here's what the possibilities are. What? And then it's the walk off. I gotta keep doing the walk off. That's what it does. It's like, I'm saying, like to drop the mic and walk off. Like that's that thing. Is that it's nothing more to be said. The game is killed. So I feel like, and that's the thing that speakers have to give themselves permission to do, especially in the corporate world. And here's what I need you to understand. A lot of the speakers that when I started moving into the platform stages, and I started moving into the sales stages and so forth, a lot of times you're working with entrepreneurs, right? And there's a different temperament with entrepreneurs. You speak to them a different way. What gets them riled up is that, especially small business owners and startup entrepreneurs and people that have small businesses that are just, it's the mom and pop shop, or it's the solo author, or the solopreneur, those kinds of folks, whatever. There are different things that get them fired up, and a lot of times it can be easier to get them fired up. It can be easy to get them fired up because they're desperately searching for passion. They're desperately searching for fire. They're looking to catch sparks to keep themselves going, right? And they know the importance of it. They know that they need it. Now, see, with corporate audiences, it's different. Mm-hmm. A lot of times there's not a recognition that they even, number one, that they don't know that they need it. Number two, the corporate environment sometimes can smother those flames of passion so much that it's almost considered, you begin to feel like it's considered inappropriate and unprofessional for you to bring passion to the workplace. But here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. That same workplace where you have allowed yourself to believe that it is inappropriate for you to be passionate, that same company is hiring me to inspire their audience on how to find their passion.
Right. Exactly.
So you see the disconnect.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You
Yep.
see the cultural disconnect. And my job is to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk, to show them that I can stand here on any stage, in the most conservative corporate environments. I'm speaking to cardiologists, I'm speaking to hospital owners, I'm speaking to senior level executives at tech companies, at cloud computing companies, at pharma companies. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking to the suits, the stiff suit and tie folks that have had that energy and that passion beaten out of them in some ways, and they're still human beings. They're desperate for it. They're thirsting for it, and they want to know it's okay. I'm speaking to the folks. You go to an entrepreneurial crowd, a power networking, an e-women, a supercon. You know, you make a joke, that was funny. I'ma laugh, right? You get passionate, you do something vulnerable, that was moving. I'ma cry, right? You go to a corporate audience, and it's like, that was funny. I think, is the CEO laughing? Is he laughing? Okay, he's laughing. I can laugh. You know what I mean? I guess I have to have permission to be a human being. And yet the CEO is hiring me to get on stage and tell the audience, you have permission. So this is what you need to know right here, right now. You have permission to be a human being in all that you are. Now your challenge is to figure out how to harness the best of you, not the worst of you on stage. You know, we tell people be yourself, but it's not be the worst of you. Nobody wants to see that unless it's part of your story and your journey to greatness. You know, but learn what's the best of you and how to be the most authentic you, so that you show people the best of you, and not in an inauthentic, I'm only showing you, you know, me at my best. No, you can, you know, show them if in the process of showing them your greatness, you break down and slobber cry. If that's a part of your journey, then that's fine. You be authentic in that. But you have to be able to have trained yourself so that you have to have trained yourself so that you know that you are able to go into that place and to elegantly come out of that place.
Yes.
You know, so people always say, "Oh, I don't want to cry. I don't want to be vulnerable." No, it's okay. Now you have to be clear on whether or not what the story that you're going into that makes you cry, if it's still therapy for you. You know, as Lisa talks about stage versus therapy, if it's still therapy for you and you're too close to it, then that's not the story to tell.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you don't tell a powerful story. That doesn't mean you don't show vulnerability. It means that you pick a moment that you have enough distance from, that you can exit it, and you have enough proximity to, that you can enter it. And as long as you know I can enter that story and I can them your humanity, right? And if you can, you know, I give the example of nobody wants to get on stage and see your perfection. Nobody wants to get on stage and see your perfection, because what does that do? That makes them go, oh well, that person's perfect. I guess I'm not. So I don't really feel a connection with that person because it's hard to connect with perfect. I'd much rather connect with real. People would much rather connect with your recovery than your perfection. They much rather see your resilience than your perfection, how you were a mess and how you got out of it. We would just talk about that at the beginning of this hangout. You know what I'm saying? Like the times when you when you are off track, and then how you got back on track. People want to see that. They want to connect with that, because that's why they're there, to help them get on track, to help them deal with being off track. So I always use the example of, so if you think about like a performer goes, well, there's no holds barred. There's nothing that I can't do to demonstrate this point. A speaker goes, I have to keep my hands here, and I have to keep my shoulders square, and I have to plant my feet, and I have to turn to the audience and speak to these different audiences at this point, and I point to this point, and I point to the 4 points in the sky, and I look above the audience's head, and I stay professional, right? Okay, well, that's minimizing the connection, right? But I say, what if in the process, if you think like a performer, what if in the process of you telling a story about how everything was just disheveled and out of sorts, and nothing was in order, right? And in the process of telling that story, you mess your hair up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if in the process of telling that story, you just mess your hair up, and you're like, everything was crazy, and I was pulling my hair out, and I couldn't believe that this deal fell through, and my girl left me, and I couldn't get in, I didn't get the job, and everything was just a mess, right? And then in the process of doing that, you say, And so I sat back and I began to piece my life together. And you start telling the story. And one by one, as you tell the story of the journey of you putting your life back together, you just begin moving strands of your hair back to perfection. And you just begin to tell the story of I put this in place, and I did this, and I moved this to the side, and I began to put this back in place. And you just begin to put it all back in place so that by the end, we can sit back and see, and now here I am, standing before you in all of my mess and all of my greatness, and letting you know that I am not beyond, ever beyond and above being disheveled and being a mess and being thrown off. But I know that I know that I have the ability to take life strand by strand and put it back together again so I can stand in my greatness. And you begin to connect that to a story that's using your body in a way that no other speaker on stage would ever dare to do. Everybody would be looking at you like, I would have never thought of messing my hair up, because I believed that my value was in my perfection. I believed that what they wanted to see was a sister or a brother standing up there with perfect hair and a perfect suit and a perfect pose and saying, I am great and here's how. And when I told the story of how I wasn't great and when I wasn't great, I didn't show you. You didn't feel it. I wasn't daring enough to really demonstrate that to you. But a performer says, I can get on stage and curl up into fetal position if I need to demonstrate that point. I can mess my hair up if I need to. There is nothing that is off limits, because I want to make sure that I'm embodying the story, I'm connecting with you deeply, that I'm becoming. And that's a mindset shift. You have to give yourself permission to think like that, to allow yourself to be that authentic on stage. And that's what I'm helping people to do.
Real talk.
Wow. I mean, let me toss this out there if I
my
can.
Hair messed up. Did I put it back? I can't get it back.
Rockstar speaker.
I don't know if that's gonna work with the ladies, but work on that.
Well, I don't have much to mess up.
It'll work even better with the ladies, because everybody would be looking at you like, I can't believe she did that, girl. I can't believe she bold. I want to learn from her. I want to learn from her because she bold.
Let me ask the question, Sekou. You're giving some golden nuggets now. And I know there's this webinar going on. I think it's rockstarspeakersecrets.com, if I got that correctly. Rockstarspeakersecrets.com. We'll post that into the group now. And I understand that for a limited amount of time, there are a number of folks who can register, and there's no charge. Is that correct? I mean, you can go register right now to Rockstar Speakers for the webinar. Is that correct?
You can register for this webinar right now. It's a free. I'm gonna give it to you for free. I'm gonna pour into you for free. You get on there and you sign up for that webinar right now. You pay nothing, and you just get to let me continue doing what it is that I'm doing for you right now. But we get a lot more specific. I just start giving you the secrets away, just giving the program, giving the techniques, the actual lessons. I'm just gonna pour into you. Start asking me your specific questions, and just let me help you grow.
Now, I'm suggest everyone head over to the page. I'm gonna post it to the group, rockstarspeakersecrets.com. So that's rockstarspeakersecrets with an S.com. Hit over there. Let's make sure the website works. So let's just hit on over there. Everyone, let's go over there now. I'm gonna register because I want to learn. Sekou, if you can, what's one reason someone should register now? Like they're heading over there while I post into the group. Why should they register, and then why should they show up and be there so they can participate in the webinar?
The reason why you should register now is because, number one, the people that are there early, right? The webinar is not for a couple of weeks, right? So the folks that I know that are signed up now, I know that they're the folks that are the most eager, that are the most confident in how they want to invest in themselves, that they know this need, that they know they need this. If you know you need this, right, and you register now, then I know that you need this right now. It wasn't negotiable for you. It wasn't an option for you. It was non-negotiable. You have to have this in your life. So that allows me to identify who you are. And as I begin putting together things that I just go, hey, you know what? Because I do this all the time. I just, I learn from people that pour into their communities. And so I believe in that. And I just go, hey, tell my team, hey, send off, these people that are in there right now, send this to them. Or let's get them connected to my Facebook team, and I want to make sure my Facebook group, and I want to make sure that they get this content. Or I just delivered something. I'm headed to, like I said, I'm headed to India and Australia in a few days, and I just created something while I was out there. send this to the folks that are already signed up right now. I just want to, this gives me the time, while I have the time, before we start getting really close to that launch date, where I can just say, these are the folks that were the early adopters, and I want to reward them for being early adopters, right? And I can just pour into you. And it might just be, hey, listen, I got some folks on my who are a part of the webinar who have signed up for my Facebook group, and I'm giving out content. Or sign up for my Facebook page, whatever, and I'm giving out content, quickly. I literally just got off the phone with my business coach, my content coach today, and just talking about what are some of the things that I can just give away. What are some of the things that I can make bonuses, that I can make fast action? So all that stuff is coming, and I know that the folks that are the early adopters, you are the ones telling me, I need this. It's not a game. It's real. It goes down in the streets. Help me out with this.
Yep. And a couple things. If you're out there right now, and Cheryl, I'm going to come to you in just a second, Cheryl. A few things. Number one, what I love is Sekou came to the webinar to give. I mean, he came to the hangout to give, and he came to you to give. And it's always good to be on the receiving side of things. But I would encourage you, don't be a taker. Give back. And so what is one of the ways, if you enjoyed Sekou's talk, you just enjoyed it. Like you said, man, he killed it, and somebody I know needs to hear this, pay it forward, hit the share button above. Don't waste any time, hit the share button above and post your big takeaway. Because remember, your big takeaway could be somebody else's big breakthrough. So first thing I want you to do is, hit the share button above the video. That's the first thing I want you to do. Hit the share button above the video and share your big takeaway. So just hit the Facebook share button, hit the Twitter share button, because the brother just crushed it. He just rocked it. You can say whatever you want to say. You know that he just rocked it. The second thing is, go to your personal Facebook page. Like, you go to Facebook, go to your personal page, type in, check out this brother's webinar, www.rockstarspeakersecrets.com. Why? Because, as a marketer, it's really interesting, Sekou, is people spend tens of thousands of dollars to expensive marketing agencies and Facebook and things like that, and all because we won't collaborate with our colleagues. Mm-hmm. And if we spent more time collaborating with our colleagues, spending more time utilizing our networks, spending more time loving on each other versus hating on each other, we wouldn't need to spend as much money on a Facebook ad. Yeah. And so one of the things is, hey, be a collaborator today and go out there and share it. Why? Because I don't want to see Sekou have to go spend $10,000 on a Facebook ad when we got 10,000 Facebook friends right here.
That's right.
I got to go drop $2,000 on running ads when I got 2,000 people watching that can take the message to the rest of the world. And what we have found is that businesses have made a business on the fact that we can't collaborate. And our failure to collaborate, our failure to help each other out, our failure to work together has become somebody else's business.
Yeah, that's real.
And so here's the thing.
There's a line there's a line in one of the speeches that I give where I'm talking about just the power of community, the power of collaboration and building a network. And it's one of my favorite moments where I go through I'm not going to do the whole setup, but I go through a lot of sort of emotional connections. It's reminding each other the power of sort of community and family and coming together. And I tell people that what you have to remember is that it's important that you remember the greatest resource that each of you have. Each of you. The greatest resource that each of you have is each of you. And if you allow yourself to believe that today, if you embrace for a moment the notion that the person sitting next to you, that's connected with you, with whom you may never have worked, right, is possibly both your greatest competitor and your greatest asset, that you are less Kobe to his LeBron and more Venus to her Serena, that at the end of your U.S. Open match against each other, you drive to the same home, you share the same name, you are part of the same story, you are family. And so then the goal must always be to make each other better and make each other proud. So that's just an example of what I talk about.
Yeah, love it, man, love it. And I think it speaks to that willingness. Here's the thing: the secret to your elevation is in your collaboration.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we're looking for the latest gimmick, the latest gadget, the latest. This is the secret to it. But the secret to your elevation is really in your collaboration.
Yeah.
And typically, if you find that you have stuck or you haven't been able to elevate past a certain level in your business or your profession, go check your collaboration. You probably got a collaboration deficit. So tonight, let's start to put an end to that deficit, and let's go out there and let's just go out to our personal Facebook page and just say, hey, check out this webinar if you want to be a public speaker. www.rockstarspeakersecrets.com. Yeah. Go ahead and have somebody check it out right now. And go ahead and share it out on Facebook, share it out on Twitter. The thing about it is, the thing that you got to be able to do is be able to pour back into your community and to be able to give value to your tribe. And so here's the thing that I would also say that I learned today, and Sekou, sometimes we got to go. Sometimes you got to go. Sometimes you got to go back for training. That learning not just how to speak from speakers, but learning how to speak from professionals, actors. Cheryl, did you hear that line when he said, "Learn from dancers"? I like to ran up out of here. I was like, what? I ain't done that yet. I was like, I've done the acting thing, I've done the theater thing, I've done the speaking thing. When he said dancers, he was like, learn from the break dancers, learn from the, man, I said, telling the story with your body. I'm going to tell you, Cheryl, I don't know about you, Cheryl, but I'm going, Cheryl. I'm going to be at the webinar, and I'm going to whatever program he got going on, because I think that is something that all speakers really should do, especially, and not just speakers. I think there are speakers, and then there are communicators. Mm-hmm. And I think that what Sekou is really talking about is moving beyond being a speaker and moving into the realm of being a great communicator.
That's right.
And to communicate requires that you be able to connect with more than just your words. There has to be a soul connection. There has to be an emotional connection. And I think for many of us in the public speaking field, we've gotten used to basically speaking about our content. We've gotten used to sharing our expertise, but we haven't connected to a damn person in the audience.
That's right.
And I think we got to get to that next level. And so I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be right there. I'm going to.
I think I'm getting that.
And I checked it out.
Trevor, I think that might be your mic. That's yeah. Let me mute you. Let me go mute you back. I think that was your mic. That was. You got to unmute yourself now. Let me figure out how to unmute him. It's been a while since I've done this. There you go.
Definitely wasn't me, but it's okay. But
okay.
But I'm saying also,
it stops as soon as I mute you. I think somebody.
Oh wow.
Somebody listen. Try muting Sekou for 1 second. I think it may be here, Shay, for just a second. Let me just see. Okay, you still getting that echo, Shay?
Mike.
Yeah,
I'm not getting that.
Okay, it's just feedback, and I'll just come back to Cheryl and Sekou in just a second. But in all honesty, I love that Sekou came over here and gave, and he poured. He straight up trained. I mean, he took it there. And this is a classic. Sometimes you're just in the moment where it's like, man, that was a classic. And I think that any teacher, any trainer, any expert that's not and allowing for somebody else to be great at what they do. You can't be great at every daggone thing. So the things that you're not great at, you go find somebody else to help sharpen you in that area. And that's the kind of people you want in your mastermind. You know, that's why you see us connect with a Sekou or a Cheryl Wood or Delator McNeil or Andy Henriquez. We're all collaborators. We all accept the fact that there's something. When Sekou wants to do some marketing, he picks up the phone and says, hey, Shay, Trevor, what's up on this market? Hey, I pick up the phone. Hey, Sekou, man, I'm about to do this presentation. He might say, hey, man, you need to do a little bit more with your mouth. You need to do a little bit more with your hands. You need to do a little bit more with your body. And at the end of the day, it's back to that iron sharpens iron situation, that scenario. And so not only do I want you to connect with Sekou on the free webinar, but if you know that you need somebody at his level or at his caliber of expertise to work with you, I would probably send them a Facebook message and say, hey, what are some of the ways that I can invest in myself through the products and services that you offer? And I'm giving you the right language. So some of y'all don't know how to approach people. All of that, can I pick your brain? You know what I'm talking about, Cheryl, right? You know what I'm talking about? Say, can we do lunch? Nah, man, that's not the conversation. Let me give you the right conversation. What are some ways, right, what are some ways that I can invest in myself through the products and services that you offer? Now, they may say, hey, I got a free webinar, but let the onus be on them. You know, at the end of the day, there's a difference between a person looking for a discount and a person looking for value. Don't be the person looking for the discount. Don't, as Cheryl would say, don't be the person looking for the what, Cheryl? The homie. I knew she was going to jump out.
Stop it.
I knew, Cheryl, you was going to be right on that line, boy. You know, we are not selling tea. Listen, your expertise does not deserve to be sold out the back of somebody's trunk. This ain't some CD to sell. This is not some television that fell off the truck. This is your expertise. This is your life. This is what you do. So when you approach somebody, here's the new language. What are some ways that I can invest in myself through the products and services that you offer? I'm telling you, people like Cheryl and people like Sekou and people like Shay, your response is going to be totally different. And the respect, what happens is you go into the scenario with respect. And what happens is you are met with equal respect.
That's right.
That's the way, because too many times the old way that people were taught to approach people is approach an expert and ask them, can you take them to lunch? Which is sort of like, it's a bit of a bait and switch. It's a bit of a low budget approach where everybody knows what you're trying to do. Hey, can I take you to lunch, buy you a Big Mac, and can you tell me the secrets about how to change the world and make 6 figures? Ain't nobody going for that. And it's not to say that they don't want to help you, but you got to come into the scenario with the proper respect. Now, this rock star speaker secrets, the one thing I can tell you about Sekou, I've seen him at the Power Networking Conference. I've seen him at eWomen's. I've seen him at 72 Hours of Power. Listen, just go to YouTube. Type in Sekou Andrews. Wait till you see what it really looks like to dominate a stage, to take down a stage. Matter of fact, I hope you don't see one of those ones where he hopped off the stage. I hope you don't see one of those ones where he's in the aisles, on the chairs, in your face. I'm telling you, the ability to bring out what I call Sekou. People ask me, well, what's the number one reason why you should hire Sekou? Here's what I always tell them. Sekou will bring out the beast in you. Like, you just come to the stage like, you be pumped up, boy. Look, if I ever have a big speaking engagement, what I got to do, I pick up the phone call, Sekou. I say, man, I want to turn this place out. I'm going to just beast out. But, you know, Sekou, bring out the beast in you. And really just making you so much more comfortable and just coming out of your skin, really being passionate. I'm going to tell you right now, number one thing you're going to get with Sekou, you're going to find that thing that you're passionate about. No, you're not passionate about that. We shouldn't talk about it. It's whatever you're passionate about, we're going to zero in on that, and we're going to help bring it to the surface. And everybody has something that they're passionate about. And I like what Sekou said. You get it, man, he ain't never lied when he said you get into them audience with Sekou, I was in this audience, one time down in Pennsylvania, boy. It was like, oh my God. It was all males, and they did not look like me. I was like, oh my God, why these people bring me in here? And it did suffocate you and make you want to become more like the audience. And if you're not skilled, and if you don't have it's not just you thinking you're just going to go up there and just do it. But if you don't have the strategies and the trainings for what to do when you hit that environment, trust me, you're going to become just like them.
That's right.
And the key to mastering your stage is being able to be you in all environments. So go on out to rockstarspeakersecrets.com. And so, Cheryl, I know you're over there. And Cheryl, what are your thoughts about Rockstar Speaker Secrets? I'm going down there. I'm going to learn from some dancers and go learn from the break dancers. And man,
while you're learning from them, make sure you quickly go register. A number of folks, Cheryl, let you know, and I'm coming right over you to Cheryl. They've already registered. They're there. They said they're already there. I know Diane says she's registered. Teresa Wright Johnson says she's registered. Dr. Doctor's on there registered. Deletra Hudson says she's registered as well. Lyman Montgomery is registered. Shay Brown registered. I don't know if Trevor Otts is registered yet. He's been talking the last 30 minutes, so he might not have registered yet.
But Shay, here's what's more important. It's not just who registered, but who shared.
Yeah.
Because it don't take much to say, hey, can I get something for free? Hey, look, you want to pack something, right? Okay, I get all the people who registered. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But let's take it to that next level. How many of y'all collaborate? How many of y'all share? Post that into the private.
And who do you know? We all know somebody in our life that needs this.
Yeah.
We all know somebody in our life whose voice is too small. We all know somebody in our life who's playing too small, who believes that they're not adequate, they're not capable of being able to step up into a bigger stage, who just has communication problems, who just feels like, I feel like we know someone who shines when they're speaking to you, when they're speaking one-on-one, right? And then when they get into the either a one-to-many situation or the possibility of a one-to-many situation, they pull back. I can't do it. It's not for me. And we look at them like, are you kidding me? Do you know how powerful you are? Do you know how brilliant you are? Do you know how many people need to know what you know? You better get out there and share this with the world. We know somebody who has that. And listen, when you talk about being a public speaker, let's be clear. It's not if you want to be a public speaker. You are a public speaker. Don't talk to me about, if I have a stage, I don't really have a stage, or that's not my stage. If you open your mouth and words come out of your mouth and they go into the ears of people that you want to inspire or enroll or impress, then you are a speaker and you have a stage. Your stage is your professional speech. Your stage is your sermon at your church. Your stage is a boardroom presentation. Your stage is your sales call. It's your classroom lecture. It's your forensics contest. It's your webinar. It's your training sessions. It's your book tour. It's your investment pitch. It's your boardroom. It's the TED Talk that you want to do. It's your network marketing. It's your keynote speech. It's your on-camera presentation. It's the PTA meeting. It's your job interview. It's your next job interview. I don't care where it is. You are a public speaker and you have a stage. And so maybe your stage is income generating, in which case, great. Let me help you generate some income with your voice. Maybe your stage is just influence generating. Then great. Let me help you be more influential in your community with your voice. Maybe your stage is just impact generating. Then great. Let me help you be more impactful with your community, with your company. Whatever it is, you have a stage. You are a speaker. You have a voice. So you need to make it mighty. You need to be a rock star in how you use it. Don't get it twisted talking about, I don't really have a stage. I'm not like Sekou. It's not about how you like this person or how you're similar or different from that person. It's not about that. It's about you being you, talking to who you speak to, knowing that you can be more powerful. You can be more engaging with them. And I bet you know somebody else that qualifies for too. I bet you know somebody else that can be more dynamic and more confident, needs to be more confident, can connect more deeply when they speak. Just push that share button and say, I think you'll like this. I think this can help you. I'm going to invest in myself in this particular way, and I would love for you to join me. I'd love for you to come join me and we invest together so that we can make our 2017 as powerful as it can be, starting right now.
You're 100% sure? What are your thoughts?
I'm loving that. Look, I'm already registered.
I registered too. I shared it as well too, by the way.
And I am registered for let me tell you, there was a 12 p.m. session and there's a 9 p.m. session Eastern time. I am registered for the 12 p.m. session. I will be there on September 27th with my notepad, taking notes. I love everything on us today. As a speaker myself, my clients always hear me say, your story is about you, but it ain't for you. And I love that Sekou is empowering us to take our voice and stop diminishing the value of our voice. Like, so what, you've been through some stuff. So what, you've been through some mess. Even in those corporate spaces, they need to hear that mess. You need to take your pain, all the mess, the crap, the bull that you've been through, take your pain and turn it into somebody else's power. I have been to corporate engagements, just like Sekou said, and I come in and the women are buttoned up to the top. I'll never forget, went to Verizon Wireless doing this big speaking engagement. Lady buttoned up to the top. Hello, how are you? Official. And I'm just there like, okay, I'm just here to be me. I'm here to be passionate, authentic, vulnerable, and to pour out into y'all. And at the end of that session, it was that same woman buttoned up to the top, collared shirt, who came over to me in tears, bawling about how much the session impacted her, about how it inspired hope, how it created a sense of change and transformation in her life in just a 45-minute session. And so then the question after that is, so what you gonna do about it? So that's what we do as people who are using our voices, as speakers, as performers. We get out, we speak, we share a message of hope, of inspiration, we become a beacon of inspiration for other people, a beacon of light for whatever mess they're going through. We say, you know what, I've been through some mess too, but let me show you how I turn my pain into power and how you can turn it into power. This brother is dropping on us. Look, I'm in for the webinar. I'm encouraging my whole crew, my network, my tribe, get on board, get the content, get the information, and look, get out there and share your voice. Stop diminishing the value of it. Stop diminishing the fact that, you know what, you feel like you're this little fish in a big ocean. So what? Somebody needs what you got right now, based on where you are right now. Because a lot of times we keep saying to ourselves, well, I'm not going to share my voice yet because I haven't accomplished this, or because I'm not there. I haven't achieved this level of success yet. But somebody needs your truth. Somebody needs your experiences. Somebody needs your expertise, your message, your knowledge right now, based on what you know right now. Yeah, there's some folk who know more than you, but there's a whole lot of folk who know less than you and who need what you have to bring to the table. And you got to bring it with a level of vulnerability, like Sekou said. You got to be vulnerable. If you break down into your ugly Oprah cry, that's okay. Just be able to pick yourself back up. You got to take them down, but you can't leave them there. Buy that and give them a hope. When I shared a story about losing my dad 7 years ago in 2009, Thanksgiving Day, that's a story inside of me. I literally watched my father closed up in a body bag. 59 years old. 60, he had plans, he had things he wanted to do, but he didn't get his tomorrow. His tomorrow didn't come. 59 years was what he was given. And even though that was a traumatic experience for me, and I share that very vulnerably from the stage, and I allow myself to feel the emotion, and I allow myself to connect with the audience and allow them to feel the emotion. But see, then I got to show them how do you get up out of that thing? So yeah, that happened. Yeah, it was traumatic. It was tragic. I miss him dearly. But let me tell you what it taught me. Time to waste. It taught me that I got to create a sense of urgency about who I am and who I'm becoming and where I'm going right now, just in case I lay my head on my pillow and I don't wake up tomorrow. What did I do today? Did I leave empty today? Pouring into an audience. Yeah, I'm sharing that truth and I'm being vulnerable and I'm sharing my real emotion. I'm creating a heart-to-heart connection, not just a head-to-head, but I'm also giving them a beacon of light, like at the end of the tunnel, that whatever they're going through right now, that's not the end. You're just getting started. You're just beginning. So when I say everything that Sekou tonight has said has just resonated in my spirit and my soul, I mean, I'm with Trevor. Trevor, tell me when we signing up to go see the dancers and the performers and the break dance, whoever. I'm on board.
Come on. Come on.
Because I'm not playing with this life. I get one time to do this thing.
That's right.
This life. The side and the back is for a reason. Reason. Stop telling me why you can't. Stop telling me you're not good enough. Stop telling me, oh, somebody's better than you. Stop telling me you grew up in the hood. So what? So did I. Stop telling me you got bad credit. Stop telling me all this against you and tell me what you got going for you. And if you don't know yet, get around some folk who will tell you what you got going for you. Stand on their shoulders until you can figure that thing out. This when I first started. You talking about a girl that grew up in the hood, single parent household, no college degree. Also, just like you say, self-taught speaker, a gift that I used, and then I started to master the gift and realized there was something there, that God had given me something special, but then I had to also put in the work so that I could master it, so that I could impact more lives. So it doesn't matter the strikes that are against you, not going for you. And how do we leverage that? How do we leverage that part of your voice, your story, so that you can impact lives and transform lives for real? Because I'm not just about creating my legacy. See, creating my legacy is like, Maya Angelou. Like, all right, when I'm gone, y'all talking about how amazing I am. Y'all still quoting my stuff. Like, that's cool. That's good. And my kids and my grandkids get to experience that, the joy of that. But I'm talking about, I want to wake up in legacy. Every single day, I wake up. I don't need an alarm clock. I wake up to life. Yes, I'm living this thing. I'm doing what I feel like I've been called to do. I'm using my voice, even when I'm scared. When I'm on a stage, when I first got on my first stage last year in front of almost 2,000 people, y'all, I was scared, not scared. I was scared. What? I looked at the crowd. I was like, whoa. What am I going to do with this? The little black girl with no college degree? Whoa. Right? I'm having a Martin moment. Sure, in that moment, head trash telling me, are you good enough? Are you qualified? Are you adequate? You sure? Like fear is right there in my ear, and I had to talk back. And every time, like Sekou said at the beginning, every time there's always another level. And you gotta harness that nervousness. You gotta harness when you hear that fear. You gotta talk back to that thing. You gotta say, look here, I object. I ain't got time for this conversation right now. You can holler at me later, and you better believe fear will holler at you later. But you gotta keep moving and pushing yourself, and you gotta keep striving for more and stretching yourself. If it don't scare you, it can't stretch you. It can't grow you. So some of y'all got to come out of hiding. Come on out of hiding. Share your truth. Share your mess. Share all the struggle that you've been through so that somebody else can be blessed and use your pain so that they can turn that message into power of their own. So, brother, I salute you. I admire you. I love everything that you're doing. I know we're going to connect from here. And I thank my brothers Shay and Trevor for always making these amazing connections, for bringing such amazing, wonderful people who are walking in their God assignment to these platforms so that people can know that I got to come out of hiding and I got to create a sense of urgency about sharing my voice and my story now, just in case this is my last time, just in case tomorrow don't come for me. What did I do today?
Woo. I'm gonna drop the mic for you, Cheryl. I go ahead and drop the mic for her. Right? I might even let me go over here and get the mic for her. Let me go get the mic for her real quick.
Look, see, you did your walk off. See, I'm telling you, Cheryl makes you do the walk off, dude.
Woo! You just walk off the mic.
That's right.
I tell you,
I had to go get a microphone so I could drop it. Yeah, I had to go get the dropping of the microphone.
Hey, that microphone costs us. Wait a minute.
Equipment. Stop playing.
Yeah, look, y'all, what you need is like a pen. So you need something you can like this. Just use that. You don't have to use a real mic, right? See, this is my mic. This is my stage. I'm learning, Sekou. I'm learning. This is my mic.
Shay, go ahead, pull your hair back, Shay. Go ahead, pull your hair back.
I'm trying to, but I first gotta get all the stuff out of it first.
Tonight, if you're watching, don't sit here and be amazed at a Sekou or amazed at a Cheryl. What they're talking about is they want people to be amazed when you speak. That's why you work with people. And that's why you work with the greats. That's why you need to get your butt over to the webinar. That's why you need to connect. And hey, how do I invest in myself through the products and services that you offer? I'm telling you right now, I'll be sending my fingers to be on the keyboard. Why? Because who are you working with right now to get to your next level? Like, who are you working? I ain't talking about what products did you buy, what book did you buy. I'm talking about who are you working with right now to get to your next level. And if you really start to look at it from that perspective, you will realize that you are buying a lot of products, you're buying a lot of services. Some of y'all are working with a lot of coaches, but for the most part, you're just going through the motion. And going through the motion is very different than going up the mountain. That next level is an upward climb. And at each level, it requires a new level of commitment. And it requires you to be working with people that are willing to push you and pull you and to drive you. And some of you haven't been, you won't hit a night. You're like, whoa, you just woke the hell up. I know I woke up. I was like, today is my January 1st. I'm ready. I'm going to learn from some speakers, some dancers. I'm going out to Long Beach, California. I'm being the rock star seeker. I'll be right on the front row. I hope you're sitting on the front row with me. Let me tell you who will be sitting on the front row. Those people who sent the message that said, how do I invest in myself through the products and services that you offer? Those will be the people that will be on the front row. And at the end of the day, I love it. I love it when we get a chance to feature other people. And I'm looking forward to when we get a chance to see you just pop onto a webinar. Now, by the way, Cheryl and Sekou popped onto the webinar. No freaking training. No, here's the script, nothing. Nobody knows what anybody's gonna talk about. Shay don't know what Trevor's gonna talk about. Trevor don't know what Sekou gonna talk about. Cheryl don't know what nobody will talk about. But like, what we doing there? I don't know. But just be on there at 9 o'clock and we'll be ready to go.
Look,
one of the benefits of working with Trevor Otts, right? We didn't have a clue, but we're here. Not joking.
What were you saying, Sekou?
Look, when you said I'm gonna turn it over to you, go. I was like, go. I was like, you gonna turn it over to me? I thought she was about to ask me some questions. I thought we was doing an interview. We didn't talk about what the format was. We didn't talk about. I was like, honestly, I didn't even know if this was audio or if it was video. I didn't know if they was watching us. I didn't know Cheryl was gonna be in. I didn't know nothing.
I didn't either. I didn't know either, Sekou.
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So he was like, go. I was like, I'm up. Let's do this. And then look, it was like the Matrix. It was like the word was just coming to me. It was just flying to the screen. And I was like, all right. But that's the thing is that once you train yourself, once you put yourself in that situation, like I said with improv artists, where nobody can do something that throws you off, once you train yourself to just go like, you can drop me down in the middle of a mountain. I just did an interview yesterday. Well, I didn't even know the dude. It was 2:30 in the morning last night. 2 o'clock in the morning. This guy was like, come meet me at this mansion. I'm gonna do an interview for you. I was at this mansion. Then the people that own the mansion were like, we do interviews all the time. They had this 360-degree view of LA. It was gorgeous. They were like, we got a 4-camera shoot, lights. We're gonna do this thing. I sat there. I was like, it's cold. I can see my breath. It's 1:32 in the morning. I'm black. I don't do cold well. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, you got me out here. You got a brother out here in the cold. I don't know y'all. We ain't talking about the format. And then they were like, well, we do interviews all the time. And they started naming all these great people and all these master thinkers and influencers. And they were just like, okay, so we're just going to start talking. And I was like, all right, like, throw me in the pit. I'm a battle of the lions. Like, it ain't no thing. And afterwards, he was like, dude, this was he was like, I think this might have been the best interview we've ever done. And I was like, word? Cool. I got to go home now, kiss my wife, go to bed, and get up because I got Trevor and Shay the next day, and I got to be on for them. And I don't know what I'm doing there either. But you damn sure I'm going to be mighty on that stage, whatever happens.
Oh, man. It don't get no better than this, boy.
So the website, for those that are trying to figure out, those that are just joining, we're here with Sekou Andrews. You might be asking yourself, okay, where's this website at again? Let me give you the website so that you have it. Some of you have shared it. Some of you sent it out. It's Rockstars Speaker.
No, say not rock stars.
Rockstarspeakersecrets.com. Rockstarspeakersecrets.com. You can go find it. We post it over there now and into the private, into the exclusive Facebook group. Be there. I'm going to be there. I got a 12 o'clock appointment. Sekou, as we come down the home stretch, folks are going to connect with you. There's one thing that Trevor started off with, but I knew I wanted to wait to a point as we bring down the home stretch that folks have got to learn what it's like to be awesome. And I know it's one of your signature pieces. I know we put the video into the private, into the elusive, exclusive Facebook group. But for those that are watching, those that are seeing you for the very first time, and those of us like myself and Trevor, we sit around sometimes, we wait for the person to do that part. I can't wait till they do their part. You saw Trevor start off early with the part. I was like, no, we can't. We got to give the guy a little time to get through his new stuff and what he does. But can you take a moment to talk about awesome, what it means, and then show folks what they can do tomorrow, because today is their January 1st. Tomorrow when they wake up, they'll have another January 1st with 1,440 minutes, but only 114 days to go to close out 2016. Talk about awesome, and then talk about what they can do to be awesome every single day.
It's short, Sekou. It's like you Prince, and he's like, "Can you sing Purple Rain, man?" And that's what Sekou was talking about. If developing a talk that's so powerful, that's like a hit song, and basically Sekou's hit song is awesome, man.
Trevor was like, please post the video now. Let's put the video on now. I said, can we just wait till the end? We got to close out at some point. Can we just wait? Trevor's like, no, put it in now. He's sending me the awesome video. Post it. So I went with the producer, Sekou. I didn't believe in the producer, but you follow the producer because they're right most of the time. Right?
That's right.
But anyway, take a moment. Cheryl, we're coming down the home stretch. Sekou's going to share a little bit about awesome, what it means, and what folks can do. Sekou, what they can do to be awesome. Over to you, Sekou.
He said, look, Look, he tried to use code language, Trevor. Like, can you talk about awesome? Can you just talk about awesome? No, he wants me to spit some of the awesome
Right.
anthem, right? That's what
The
he wants.
awesomeness.
You know what I'm saying? He wants me to just go ahead and spit some of that piece like Prince singing Purple Rain. That's exactly right. I mean,
Gotta have it, man. Come on, we got to have
look,
it.
I speak Che. I know what you're talking. I know how to speak the language. You know what I'm saying? You ain't the only one. So the awesome anthem is what they're talking about, and the awesome anthem is one of my favorite. It's one of my most popular. It's one of the pieces that I'm most proud of. It's a piece that is a self-celebration piece to just remind you that no matter what you're going through, that you are powerful enough, that you are beautiful enough, that you are strong enough, that you are brilliant enough, that you are mighty enough to get through it, to get over it, to get on the other side of it, that you are awesome enough to handle whatever life throws at you. And people need to be reminded of that. This is not some new thought any more than, put down the cake and do some push-ups is a new thought that your trainer tells you. But sometimes we still need the trainer to remind us that we are strong enough to get through this workout, right? We need the sermon to remind us that our spirits are mighty enough to get through this hardship. We need that counselor to tell us, to remind us that we are powerful enough to get through this challenge in our relationship. And sometimes you need somebody to just remind you personally that you are awesome enough. And so this is a piece that's part of a video that they shared. We're all doing what I call the soul selfie. That's what you've been seeing Trevor do. I call it the soul selfie, right? Because you done all taking a selfie of yourself. You got your phone and you take the picture and you take the selfie, and when you don't look right in that one, so you didn't get this one. Then you get that one, and you get that one, and you just keep you don't quite look right. And then when you finally see that right one, and you're like, there I am. That's me. That's the me I want to share with the world. And then you send it out to everybody else, right? You send it to everybody that you care about. So I wanted to do that same thing, but it's like taking a selfie of your soul, right? I call it the awesome pose or the soul selfie. And it's just that picture that when you see yourself in your right light, like you're holding a little hand mirror that's reflecting your soul. And when you see that, you say, I am awesome, until it shakes and quivers and rocks your soul. And we all need that. Right? We all have those days. I know I have those days when my drive crashes, when my self-worth stalls by the side of the road, right? My ambitions check engine light comes on mid-hustle, and I find myself at my bathroom mirror scratching the words can't into the hardened steam. But as I stare at my reflection with these broken down eyes, my reflection sees its reflection in me from the other side and thinks to itself, I don't know what he thinks he sees, but he must not be looking at me because I am awesome. So don't be wasting my tears. I am more than enough to get through this. And I got a scrapbook full of I can't do it to prove it. For I maintain a level of awesomeness in everything I do. So my awesomation is not speculation, but irrefutable truth. In fact, the Census Bureau just released a report that 2 out of every 3 people are awesome. And if that's true, then out of you and I, the question we must now ask ourselves is, which one of you two is the one that sucks? Because I am awesome! Like finding money in dirty laundry? Awesome. Like parking at that 1 meter that's broken? Awesome. Like that perfect person at that perfect time saying that perfect thing? Awesome. Like making a living doing what you love. Like somewhere rocking out in New York City is a dude whose resume actually reads National Air Guitar Champion. What? Somewhere in the Ukraine is a woman who boasts a trophy for National Sand Art Champion. Here in Los Angeles is a man who has earned the title National Poetry Slam Champion. And to most of the working world, all 3 of those titles are equally freaking ridiculous. But the most awesome 5 people on the planet are we who embrace our ridiculousness. We live what we love. and we love incorrigibly, which is why I sleep quite well, but I go to bed horribly, right? Always hopped up on a triple shot of purpose, juggling my dreams like 13 flaming swords and chasing my aspirations through the graveyard shift so that the world can awake to my awesomeness. Look it up. And I'll admit, I used to think that awesome was a word for surfers and skateboarders, you know, smokers and valley girls, but I was like totally mistaken. Awesome is gangster. Awesome is stupid fresh. Awesome is the new crunk and the new cool beans, the new bomb diggity and the new bee's knees. My new mantra that helps me breathe into all that I believe and see that within me is all the might I'll ever need, because there are those days when I'm pushed to the edge, where still waters meet earth, and I fall to my knees to look upon the water's surface. But as I stare at my murky reflection in these broken down eyes, God sees his reflection in me from the other side and thinks to herself, I don't know what he thinks he sees, but he must not be looking at me, because I am awesome! Like the science of miracles and the mathematics of purpose, awesome. Like how the mind can always calculate the what of who and the when of where, but the soul must solve for why. Awesome. Like the thought of God and logic having faith that we will figure ourselves out. Awesome. Like how the moment I truly discovered the great I am is the same moment I discovered how truly great I am. And I am not perfect, but I'm perfect like I am. I'm not beautiful like I used to be. I'm beautiful like I am. Like the scar where a breast once was. Like survival where a death once was. Like the better where a best once was. Every gray hair a trophy. Every wrinkled fold a story. Every pound of fat a challenge, reminding me there is always something to pursue and always something to celebrate. That's why I never smile for no reason. That's a concept I don't believe in. You ain't never without a reason to show off your teeth a bit, spread out your cheeks a bit, let your gums breathe a bit. If you can learn to reach deep for it, you can take yourself a piece of bliss and make yourself a feast of it. Anyway, if you want to hear the rest of that piece, you can go to theawesomeanthem.com and make sure that you check it out. Make sure that you share it with somebody that you love that needs to know how powerful they are. There's more to that piece, but I'm not going to take up all your time right now with it. So that's a little.
Look, I got one thing to say. Sekou, that was cool. You cool, but I am awesome.
Claw, she got the claw. Sherwood is officially crossed over to the claw.
She's officially part of the global community of awesomeness.
No, first of all, my kids is in the background. They're supposed to be asleep, but they not. And all I hear them in the background saying is, awesome. Really? It's 11 o'clock. Are you going to be saying awesome tomorrow when it's time to get up?
That's right. That's right.
Come on, get up, kid, because we are.
Dun, 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 dun.
The claw.
The claw.
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, it's been an awesome evening or morning or afternoon, whatever time it is for where you are. Make sure you do two things. Go sign up for the webinar. What's the webinar again, Sekou?
It is rockstarspeakersecrets.com. Rockstarspeakersecrets.com. Come holla and learn as many rockstar secrets for public speakers as you possibly can to become mighty on any stage you touch.
Oh man, that is incredible. Look, as we come down the home stretch, we encourage you all to go there right now, and then share it with your network. So everyone's a speaker, as he mentioned earlier, so you can benefit, but don't hold it to yourself. Share it with someone else. Sekou came on this evening. We didn't have to stroke him a check. We didn't have to swipe a credit card. He came here to share and to give. And that's, that's pretty cool right there. So I'm trying to be awesome.
Not just cool shit, rare. Let's go ahead and put it. Rare.
Right.
Rare at
Right.
that level. Especially
Yeah.
when people come in just really share their time. And especially, say, I don't know what time zone Sekou on, because every time I talk to me, China, India, Alaska, just don't know where. What time is it here? Well, maybe 6 in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, definitely one of those rare moments where you get a chance to have an expert at this level come in and share with you the secrets. And all he shared with you was just a tip of what really goes on when you go through the Sekou experience. I would encourage everybody, if you have not gone through the Sekou experience, it's that one in a lifetime event. It's that one in a lifetime type of training that you realize that the moment you hit that training, that it changed your whole life. And it's not just this type of communication that you use for stages, but wait till you see how awesome you are in the boardroom. Wait till you see how you communicate better with your family. It is just communication mastery at its best.
Absolutely.
And if you become more powerful and passionate in your communication, you can literally change the world.
Absolutely. So what I'd like to do now, if we can, is Cheryl, if we come down the whole stretch, have maybe a minute or two, some closing comments as those folks go out. We encourage them again. Sekou, what's the website again? Just tell them one more time. What is the website they all can go to in order to join the webinar?
September 27th, 2 different times, a free webinar where I'm pouring into you, and it goes down. It goes down at rockstarspeakersecrets.com. rockstarspeakersecrets.com.
Hey, Cheryl, did you realize? Wait a minute. I just realized something, Shay. I don't know if anybody just realized this. Sekou has rockstarspeakersecrets.com, and then Cheryl, her movement is called Rock Your Stage. We got 2 rock stars, like real time today. Shay,
That's right.
Yeah, because we are awesome.
It only took Trevor like 2.5 hours to figure that out, but I'm glad you put those 2 points together. You're absolutely correct.
Right, Rock Your Stage, Rockstar Speaker Secrets. Oh, that's good.
That's right.
I get it. I like it. Cheryl, if you can, take a minute. We're going to close out. Give you the opportunity to have some closing comments. We'll have Trevor have some couple comments, and Sekou, you'll bring us on down the home stretches. We're all getting ready to walk out here saying, we're awesome! I mean, it's embedded in our head, man. That's cool because that is the Sekou experience. And that was the question we asked earlier today. Have you had the Sekou experience? And the answer is absolutely not unless you've been there live or been to his webinar. With that being said, turn it over to you, Cheryl.
Yeah, I think, anytime you can come into a space and get this type of energy at, 11:17 or whatever time it is your time. If for us Eastern time, it's 11:17. I should be getting my kids into bed, but you cannot skip out on this kind of energy. Like Sekou said, sometimes you just need to be reminded that you're great, that you're amazing. You need to be reminded that you're awesome. You need to be reminded that there is more out there for you. And I think if nothing else, that's what this session did tonight. It just reminded all of us that we can push a little harder, stand a little taller, fight a little bit more, fight for your dream like you're fighting for your life. Like literally put everything you have into that thing. Don't give challenges or obstacles or anything an opportunity to chauffeur you out of what can be, chauffeur you out of your destiny. You got to stand up. You got to fight for that thing. You got to literally have your hands up like a boxer and be willing to hit back and punch and duck if you need to. And if you happen to get hit, don't count it as a knockout. You got to just count it as a temporary thing. Okay, I got to get myself together. I got to regroup, re-energize. All right, let me get my game plan back together. And then let me get back up and let me jump back in the ring. So you got to fight. You got to fight. Sekou is where he is because he's been fighting for it. He said what he wanted. He visualized it. He talked about it. He mastered it. And now he's doing it. I'm where I am today. No longer going to a 10x10 cubicle as a secretary. I'm traveling the world as an international speaker. Why? Because I'm fighting for it. And it wasn't fight for it for a little while and then stop. It's every day that I wake up, I'm fighting for it. Like I'm fighting for my life. And it's what I want. I know it's what I want. And so I keep pressing. I keep moving. Every challenge, I knock it down. Every roadblock, every setback, every obstacle, every disappointment. It is never permanent. It is always temporary. So I'm urging every one of you, learn how you can use your voice. Learn from the person who has mastered the craft himself. Put in your time, pay your dues. You want to be great? You want to walk into a space of greatness? You got to make sure that you're connecting with the people who are demonstrating it, who are already showing you what the model looks like. And Sekou is the perfect person. I'm a speaker, but I'm signing up for this course. You better believe it. What? Because I'm going to keep taking my awesome to the next level and the next level and the next level. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm in this thing for the long haul. And that means I keep learning from the greats. So I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be a part of this. I'm thrilled to be on the bandwagon with this movement. Go to rockstarspeakersecrets.com and get registered. Join us in this movement.
Thanks, my Cheryl, for joining us and taking time away from the family to be there. I know your boys are like, oh man, what's going on? What's going on? Turn the computer around, Mom. We want to see. We want to see. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow in Atlanta. I think, Trevor, I got a 6 a.m. flight, and you get to come out a little later, by the way. So we won't sleep tonight, but an entrepreneur's light is never out. So don't worry. Sekou, don't worry about us. Don't worry. We'll be just fine. We'll be awesome all night and all day, and we'll get the right foods tomorrow. Trevor, I come over to you, man, to have some comments before we go to Sekou.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. All kids should have to see the awesome anthem. All kids, and they should forget giving them the Captain America or the Iron Man T-shirt. I'm getting them the awesome T-shirt. I want my kid to get up in the morning and say, Dad, I am awesome. Maybe, how cool would it be to see your kids go to school on that, pumped up with purpose, as Sekou would say. But no, it's really been an honor and a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing your 72 hours of power, and looking forward, if you didn't do it, even if you already done it, once again, be a master collaborator, be the top collaborator in your tribe in 2016. And one of the ways you can start that process is going onto your personal Facebook page and just posting out. Learn how to be a master speaker. Go to www.rockstarspeakersecrets.com and tag Sekou in it so he knows who's collaborating with him, who's out there sharing his message. So tag him when you do it. So even if you've done it already, well, do it a doggone again. Stop looking to do the bare minimum in life and expecting massive success. Massive success comes to those people who go above and beyond what they were expected to do or supposed to do. And what happens is they experience success above and beyond what they expected of themselves. Because what it is about that energy of expectation. If you're doing the bare minimum of what's expected, what's going to show up in your life on the other side is basically the bare minimum. Destiny is going to meet you with the bare minimum of what you expected. But when you go above and beyond what's expected in your life, then you find that on the other side, that things happen for you above and beyond what you expected. And it's that energy. And many of us, we are not using the energy. We're not putting into life what we want out of it. And that's why we're not experiencing those results. And what we're finding is that life and our destiny and our future and our results are merely just a mirror of what we're putting into it. And it's a reflection. And if you don't like the reflection that you see when you look in the mirror, then you got to change something here, change something on the inside. So in your tribe today, be the #1 collaborator. And remember, today is your January 1st. You can do something new. You can have new goals. You can approach the world with new optimism. But go out there and, as Sekou said, be awesome. Turn it over to you, Shay.
Great. With that being said, we want to thank all of you who've been sharing in the group. Those that showed up, want to thank Sekou being flexible, being here. As Cheryl goes over and tells her kids, get in the bed, get in the bed, get in the bed. You better be awesome laying down like this. She got a mommy hat on now. No, I'm just joking. I said, sure, I'm just joking. But in all seriousness, man, on behalf of myself and Trevor and Cheryl and the entire Team PPI family, we appreciate you being here, man, taking time with us, not only just to be here, but to share some real ideas for folks that want to be a speaker, whether they're a speaker or not. As you said, if you're speaking, you are a speaker. And we walk away with not only knowing that we're awesome, but very specific things that we can do to be ourselves. And that's what I enjoy most about it. Always looking to try to come out the box, because I'm that guy that likes to do things 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I know when I saw you last time, you said, hey, man, you can do this, you can do that, you can move, you can do things differently. And that really encouraged me and inspired me. But that's what I took away from you. Do things a little differently outside of your comfort zone, but still be who you are, man. So I appreciate that. And because of that, I've fought against wearing a jacket on these things. And, you know, Trevor's finally come around. So he is now awesome as well until he decides tomorrow to wear a suit and a tie at 12 o'clock at night. But in all seriousness, thanks a lot, man. I remember when you came out, you had a T-shirt on. He's like, man, I'm going to do what I do, Shay. I'm who I am. But in all seriousness, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, man. You're incredible. We appreciate you. We know the best is yet to come. I'm going to turn it over to you to have the final comments. And when you finish, we'll go ahead and close out until we see each other again, which we will real soon. So thanks to you and your team and the emails they sent, man. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you soon. God bless. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, all I can say in closing is just, you know, like I love what Trevor said in terms of, you know, how sometimes we end up not putting into life what we want out of life, you know, and sometimes we have to really sit back and prepare ourselves for what's coming and the greatness that we have, the greatness that we expect. You know, I was listening to a sermon from my amazing public speaker of a pastor, Pastor Andrea Gibson of Hope's House, and she was talking about you know, the capacity that you have, and you filling yourself with making sure that you have the capacity. And her husband Charles Humphrey talking about just making sure that you fill yourself with the capacity that you create the capacity for where you want to be, not for where you are. You know, Cheryl talking about stretching yourself so that you can grow yourself, and that's what this is. You know, so I leave you with that thought of just, you know, if you know that you have a more powerful voice in you, then step into that power. Just come share with me, join my tribe. Let me keep inspiring you. Let me keep sharing with you. I pour in first, you know, before it's about selling a program, before it's about you know, hiring me as a speaker, before it's about purchasing a pouring into you. That's what the Awesome Anthem was. You know, before it was selling awesome T-shirts, it was just me saying, all I ask of you is that you take this video and that you share it with a kid, with a depressed person, with a family member, with a loved one, with a community member who needs to know how powerful and awesome they are. And that's the same way it is with my Rockstar Secrets. Invite somebody that you know that needs to have a more powerful voice. Join my tribe. Make sure you go to rockstarspeakersecrets.com. Make sure you go to SekouAndrews.com and join my tribe. SEKOU Andrews. SEKOU Andrews.com, and join my mailing list, join my tribe. You know, you can sign up for the Glow group and let me just glow on you and give you inspiration. You can sign up for the Know group and get to know me behind the stage, behind the curtain, off the stage, who I am as a person. You know, that's where they say you never talk about sex, religion, and politics at work. Well, that's where you get to know all about sex, religion, and politics with me. You know, that Know group, or sign up for that Grow group and allow yourself to just learn the techniques that I'm sharing with the world's biggest leaders and the world's biggest companies. Make sure you hit me up on Twitter at SekouAndrews.com. Holler at me on Twitter. Follow me at SekouAndrews.com. Make sure you follow me on Facebook. You know, LinkedIn, and just make sure that you're just a part of my tribe, and let me keep pouring into and sharing with you. And the last thing I'll leave you with is just a reminder that you have to be voiceful in this world, no matter what happens. Whatever vision you have for your company, whatever vision you have for your product, whatever vision you have for your message, for your cause, for your nonprofit, for your family, for your community, that vision is only as powerful, is only as compelling as your voice. So you have to be voiceful. You have to make sure that you are voiceful in this life. And when they tell you talk is cheap, you tell them silence is unaffordable. Be voiceful, because you are what you say. So don't say what you do until you do what you are. For only when your actions move with your words will your words move others to action. Maybe it's time to hit the showers like a vocal booth and climb back in until your story recognizes your voice and it unlocks your doors wide, right? Your fate's GPS speaks in your voice and announces you have arrived, and you step outside into life's voice booth of earth and seas and skies, and you prove that your voice sounds just as freaking amazing as it did inside. Because what's the point of showing up to life if you don't announce you're there? Thank you. Rockstar Secrets for public speakers, rockstarspeakersecrets.com. Come let me grow you.
And Shay, you're muted, by the way. Shay is talking. But thanks, Sekou. Appreciate it,
Thanks
man.
for that. Sorry about that. I was hitting the mute button so it wouldn't interfere. But thanks a lot. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, Cheryl. See you soon, man. God bless.
God bless.